So here are some things.
Hello and welcome, Some Things Podcast listeners. How are you guys doing today? Oh man, we got a great episode today. We're going to talk about our new guest on the show. We're going to go over the Joker review, and we're also going to deep dive into sports and something I'm really passionate about, but also kind of hate right now. With me today is my host. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Luke, guys.
And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you for the very first time ever, somewhat first time ever on this podcast, Sarah.
Hello.
Sarah, you're our first guest.
I am your first guest.
How does that feel?
It's
Clap,
an
clap,
honor.
clap, 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 clap.
And I also think it's my rightful place.
That's right.
Yes. She saw everything the light touched and was just like, that's my kingdom.
You said she was your wife, right?
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got feet in both camps here.
Both camps.
2 feet. You're using both your feet this time.
This time, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
I
the-
used to live the flamingo life, but that's behind me.
What about the third foot?
I don't have one.
What happened to it?
I was born without a third foot.
Dang. She's not as cool as us.
I know, man.
I'm really sensitive about it, and I'm kind of upset that you brought it up here like 10 seconds into my first guest appearance on a podcast.
Well, you know, people need to know who you are as a person, and you had a third foot, so it's something worth talking
I
about.
don't have a third foot.
Used to. I said used to.
No.
Yeah.
I was born without one.
Anyway.
Without a third foot?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know how that... Well, anyway.
We milked that one.
Hope you guys enjoyed that for the whole 5 seconds of that podcast. All right, so like I said, we are like Luke covered. Sarah is our first guest speaker for this episode, and so again, we hope you guys enjoy her presence as a female partaker in this episode.
Yeah, hang in there to the very end. She has a lecture prepared for us, right? Some sort of
about graphic design,
about health and design and how they're related.
And third foots.
Yeah, I'll get to that. But what you need to know right now is that as a female presence, I have decorated all the walls in the studio pink.
I don't like it.
No, I don't either.
Fired.
Especially since she's lying about it.
I decorated this studio. And you can go on Instagram for proof. Remember, because I put up all of the posters?
You did. You put up that video, and I tried. You sent me the link to that video. I tried saving it to my phone and uploading it to Facebook to kind of get more social media presence. It wouldn't work.
You're fired too.
Yeah, well, Facebook's fired.
By the way, if anybody wants any of those posters, we are selling those for $1 each. So let us know.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Either on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter even. John's not here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what's funny? Sarah was actually telling me this. The one Twitter follower he got, her coworker's husband, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Ricardo.
Bam. What's
Good
up,
for you,
Ricardo? How you
Ricardo.
doing?
He's a big fan. I'm sure he's going to appreciate.
Yeah.
hearing his
Shout
name
out.
here.
Yeah, super shout out, man. I love getting the feedback because Sarah's been telling me a lot that our podcast is generating a lot of buzz in her office. So I'm
That's
loving
good.
that.
We
Yeah.
talk about you guys at lunch a lot.
Hey.
I know. We're just sitting here stroking our own egos again.
I got one of my coworkers. I'm gonna spoil it. We're gonna talk about the Joker movie, so stay tuned.
Right.
He went to go see it Saturday, and I told him, "Hey, check in on Monday and see what we thought about it." So,
Oh man, yeah. So it should be great. Again, I'm gonna love diving into that. We won't get again. It'll be spoiler friendly because we won't be just giving away what happened during the movie, but we will be talking about overall plot and whatever else. Like I said, when we get to the entertainment portion of our podcast. But we're not there right now. For now, I would like to talk about my lovely wife and a few things that I like to call Sarah Sillies. Luke,
Sarah Sillies.
do you remember there were a few instances where I had to just tell these kind of funny, quippy stories about my wife as we were either out on date night or anything else for that matter, just like our usual interactions with each other. They tend to spawn these great moments in our relationship. And so there was one time we were out at a Chili's or Applebee's type restaurant, and you know how they
Sarah Sillies at a Chili's.
Aha, there we go. I like that. Yeah, we'll just confirm and say that it was Chili's then.
Chili sillies.
Yeah.
I like it.
So there we were. We're at the table, and as many people should know, or if you go out regularly, they've upgraded their tables, or not necessarily the tables, but they start putting those little electronic devices to where you can play games while you're either waiting for your food or whatever else. You know what I'm talking about? They're like these little touchscreen.
It's like an electronic waiter, but way more entertaining because it comes with games.
yeah.
Where you have to like pay for each game.
Yeah, so it's like $2 and you unlock
Yeah.
all the games or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there and we're playing a game where it was somewhat like charades, but you just have to describe to your partner or whoever's playing with you across the table, what is on the screen, and you have to obviously get them to guess it without saying what the actual word is.
Does it have to be your partner, or can it just be a friend?
I like to think Dylan and I are both.
Yeah, I mean, I said partners just in whoever you're with at the time, but I mean, if you want to take it that way
okay.
too, that's fine. But so anyway, we're sitting there, and the word on the screen, as I was trying to talk to her, we're going through getting a few, and the word on the screen was wood. And so I'm looking around, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get her to guess this? And so I look at the table, and I notice it's wood. And so I go this, like, I didn't really say anything. And so as I'm tapping, I go, and she responds with,
Who's there?
Oh my goodness.
so she thought I was trying to get her to guess a knock-knock joke or something, and I'm just like, no. I think we just stopped the game. Like, there's probably like 10, 15 seconds left, but I hunched over, started busting up laughing, and I just couldn't go any further. I'm just like, nope, we're done here. It's just...
My
Sarah-
word association betrayed me pretty hardcore.
Oh,
Sarah,
yeah.
that is silly.
Yeah, dude, it was, and they're great. There's always moments like this, and it's never just when we're out on date nights or at a restaurant. There was another time where we were actually driving home from work, and there's another mobile app type game. It's called Charades, but it actually plays more like what I was just describing.
It's basically the same game.
Yeah, you get someone to guess the word on the screen.
Yeah.
And so we were going through a category, and the category was, I believe, Disney characters, and so the word on the screen was Tigger. And everyone knows Tigger, right?
I know him.
Yeah.
Not personally, but...
So yeah, we're going through the game, and she was driving, so I was just kind of going through the different rounds and everything, getting her to guess characters. We're doing pretty good. And so I see the word Tigger pop up on the screen, and I look at her, and I'm like, oh, I got this. The wonderful thing about... Because that's his theme song. The wonderful thing about Tigger is Tigger's a wonderful thing. But when I say this to her, I say, the wonderful thing about... And she responds with...
Wizards.
Wizards!
Wizards.
You're a Tigger, Harry.
There we go. Just bounce around on his broomstick. But yeah, so it's just things like that to where you just can't do anything else but stop and laugh, So
Except I was driving, so I couldn't stop.
yeah, I just and what's great is we do these things called condescending head pats. It's just it's a show of love and affection. But
And
when
condescension, apparently.
yes, but, so when things like that happen, we just kind of look at each other like, oh babe, and just pat pat pat.
Yeah.
Can I just say, at the time, I was operating heavy machinery, and so I think I get a bit of a pass on that one.
We were stuck in traffic. I don't think it was really that much to focus on.
We weren't even stuck.
We weren't going that fast. I saw bumpers and lights in front of us. Come on now.
I
Well,
saw
I don't
bumpers
know.
and lights in front of us, too, and I was trying not to hit them.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see bumpers and lights in front of you, it's probably 1 a.m.
Yeah, it wasn't that early, late. It's always weird how you want to describe that, but no, we weren't out that late. We were coming home from work, so it was probably like 4 o'clock.
in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and it was nowhere near dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just one fun thing that's that goes on between us, and maybe later down the line if Sarah comes back on more podcasts, because she probably will, more than likely.
I like to think so.
Yeah. Again, I
this
think
goes
I,
well.
I
Do you
think
like our podcast?
I listen to it every week.
Oh, nice.
she's about to say every day, and then had to stop herself.
No, not every day. No.
Yeah,
I don't have
even-
time for that.
I don't even listen to it every day. It'd be too much overkill.
Same.
But yeah, so that being said, yeah, I don't think we dived into this. How's your guys' week going so far?
Pretty solid. I had a fun gig.
Oh yeah, where
Yeah,
were
it
you
was-
playing at?
It was in downtown Palm Springs,
Ooh,
which is surprisingly nice. Like, I didn't realize Palm Springs was this nice of a place.
oh yeah,
But I guess there's like a bunch of old retired white people, so so it was super nice. I played at a restaurant called Wilma Frida's.
Wilma Frida's.
Wilma Frida's.
That
So
does
shout
sound like
out-
a place where retired people go.
Shout out to Wilma Frida's. Yeah, we played some jazz. There was 4 of us: a drummer, a piano player, me on bass, and a
Nice,
singer. So yeah, I just played.
Oh,
some...
and you sung?
no, no, someone else sang.
Oh,
I just play the bass.
but you sing so great for the entertainment portion. Why
I don't care.
Okay.
I prefer to play the bass.
All right.
But yeah, it was a good gig, and I came home with a free rack of ribs, and that made my entire week.
Yeah, that sounds pretty delicious. I mean, like even outside the gig, it's just like going home with a free rack of ribs can make anyone's
And
week.
I'm talking about a full rack of ribs, not a half rack.
Oh, full.
Yeah, and they
Ooh,
were, I think, spare ribs. They were big.
Oh, my
they
goodness.
were big ribs. So
lucky man.
good stuff. Go check out Wilma Frida's, and they should be sponsoring us sometime soon. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd be great. We can just-
thanks in advance.
Woohoo! All right. How about you, Sarah?
Okay, well, aside from work, the details of which I wouldn't want to bore you,
Well, you never know, but hey.
I've been working a lot the past couple weekends on trying to improve our front yard.
Yes, she has.
So I've been pulling a lot of weeds and getting a lot of dust into my lungs, and
Yeah.
also
And,
spending a lot of time with our dogs, which is fun.
yeah, and I've just been the terrible husband just kind of sitting on my butt sleeping because I've been exhausted these past few weeks.
You guys have a front yard?
You wouldn't know
you
it
wouldn't
because
know.
it's covered in tumbleweeds, but I actually cleared it out of all that now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So she's been working like a maniac, and I truly appreciate her for it. But yeah, so any other highlights of your week, though? Just cleaning the yard and...
Shoot, I don't think so.
No,
we saw Joker
none.
together, so that was nice.
Yeah, of course, we'll get into that later, as we mentioned. Yeah, for me, this week's been long, and after today, Luke, we're recording on Sunday, just so everyone's clear. Yeah, it only gets longer and worse from here. But yeah, for me, it was just like this week seemed to drag on. We went back immediately onto overtime, only after I think 2 days maybe of not having it. And so we're already back to getting up early morning, going out to my place of work and everything, just to handling things in the warehouse. And Friday was just the worst of it, man. Okay, so I had Bluetooth headphones that worked, and they said they were waterproof or water resistant, but apparently I just maybe sweat too much, and that happened to get into the Bluetooth headphones, and they don't work anymore, which sucks because I spent like $15 on each of them.
You sweat inside your ears?
The sweat just kind of... This is back when I had long hair, so this is before I cut
okay,
it. But yeah,
yeah.
so it just kind of went everywhere. But so that being said, those don't work, and so I've had to go back to using my corded headphones. And like 3 or 4 times that day, they kept snagging on different things in my workstation as I'm walking around trying to help people out, do this, do that. And so it just kept, when you walk by a door and you happen to have your headphones on and then the handle catches it and just yanks it right out of your ear.
Yes.
It's one of the worst feelings you can get aside from maybe like hitting your ankle with a scooter. And so that kept happening to me all day. But so there was that dilemma. Then there was one part where, as I'm working in the warehouse, my managers had me go to a portion of our area where people will hang clothes downstairs, and what I'm supposed to do is kind of catch for whoever's downstairs sending clothes up on the trolley line to us. And so, they start sending clothes up. I'm getting a few trolleys, but then I noticed that we have these kind of like cable knit sweaters for like the fall holiday season. And those keep hooking on the different trolleys that were kind of hanging off to the side. And so I'd sit there, but then there'd be like jams on the trolley line. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm trying to communicate with people on the radio. Like, stop, don't send it up anymore.
Did they get ripped apart?
There were a few sweaters that took some damage. It was not pretty.
Sounds fun, though.
No, it was not. Because I'm sitting there like, oh man, my bosses, they were trusting me to do a new kind of a job assignment or whatever in the warehouse. And then here I am just kind of fumbling it when it's not my fault, but it's still making me look bad. Thankfully, one of the other managers and coworkers of mine came over to the same area and they were having the same issues. So I'm like, okay, good. It's not just me.
Yeah.
But so then there was that on Friday. And then the cherry on the cake or on the ice cream sundae, whatever you want to have, I was downstairs and I was getting freight for everybody as I was just moving boxes around. As I'm walking by the stations, my basketball shorts that I was working in got hooked on a handle for the back trolley line and just ripped my shorts.
You pantsed yourself.
I, no joke, almost did. I was telling Sarah about this, but one of my female coworkers was working in the station as I'm walking by her, and when you start unpacking clothes, you kind of stockpile empty cardboard boxes that you then throw up to the trash compactor line that's above the stations. And so as she's bending over to like go pick up one of these boxes, and literally that's when the handle hooks my basketball shorts and almost rips them off me as her head's like right near me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to pants myself. And I had to like quickly grab them before they just fell all the way down. I'm like, nope. So
Stop it, pants.
it was just a bad week. And then as we get into sports, we'll find out more reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so aside from that, though, one positive thing that happened this week was we planned out our Halloween party. So we typically do things on an annual basis, but we do them our Halloween party. We do it after Halloween or after the month of October because that's when everything just hits clearance. That's the candy, the decorations, everything, and we're able to pick up some pretty good things for our party. And so we decided that the theme of this year is going to be video game characters. So when people come dressed up, we'll have a costume contest, do an escape room, and all kinds of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. It gives me some hope at the end of the tunnel after all this overtime that I'm probably going to have to be dealing with for the next few weeks here, probably next few months, honestly.
Yeah, about that. You guys are all invited. Their address is So make sure to
I
write that
can't
down.
believe you just gave that away.
I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so, as we keep talking, we do have Sarah in the studio with us as a guest. And I think she's actually brought some fun along for us this week.
Sarah, you brought a game for us?
Yes. So for anyone who doesn't know how the sausage is made over here, if you want to be a guest on this podcast, they do require you to bring your own material.
At least a
At
little
least
bit.
a little bit.
And we should point out the reason why. We don't want you guys to think that we're trying to milk our guests for content, but we do want the guests to be featured.
Yes.
And one of the best ways to do that is to have them ready with stuff to talk about so we
Yes.
don't drown them out with
Yeah.
our annoying voices.
Yeah, so they can talk about their own interest or, again, fun things like this.
So Sarah, being the selfless guest that she is, brought
Aw.
a game for us.
Yes, I brought a game, and as you guys know, I am a big fan of word games.
She will crush you in Boggle.
I will crush people
She
in
will
Boggle.
crush anybody in Boggle.
People don't like to
Ken
play
Jennings
Boggle with me.
would not be able to beat her.
Nope.
What was that?
I'm not making that claim.
Fight us, Ken Jennings. We challenge you on
Yeah.
Sarah's behalf to a game of Boggle.
See, well, he'll fight us and then we can sue him for all the money he made.
Okay, so Boggle's won, but this particular game, I took more cues from Balderdash.
Oh, boy.
So Balderdash is a game where you're given an obscure word and you have to come up with definitions for it. Now, I've modified this into a game that I would like to call Safe Words,
Oh, boy.
in which I've taken words that sound very dirty, but are not. And so I have these dirty sounding words.
Oh, boy.
And
I hope one of them comes up that I'm thinking of.
I've written several definitions for each of them, and you guys have to guess what the actual definition of these words are.
Oh, boy.
I'm in.
All right, so our first word is bum fiddle.
Bum fiddle.
It's not a butt violin, I know that
Oh
much.
my goodness.
It's spelled exactly how it sounds, Bumfiddle.
Oh, boy.
Bum fiddle. So your three options. A lumber sawing technique that uses short back and forth motions. Mm-hmm. A Renaissance brass instrument similar to the trombone. Or to ruin something by scribbling or drawing on it. So one of those definitions is a real definition. The other two are fake.
So the last one was scribbling. What was the first one?
The first one was a lumber sawing technique that uses short back and forth motions.
I think I want to go with the scribbling, the bottom one.
Letter B.
Letter B. That's
You're going to say it's the brass instrument?
Yeah.
oh boy.
Final
He-
answers?
He
Final
knows this
answer.
one.
Luke, you're actually wrong. But
Dang
Dylan,
it.
you are right. It is
Good job.
to ruin something by scribbling or drawing on it. It's an old British term that's particularly referring to like legal documents.
Okay.
So yeah, it's literally you just ruin this legal document by scribbling all over
You
it.
rotten bum fiddle.
You're considered a bum fiddler if you do this to a legal document.
What a jerk.
I'm going to bum fiddle all over this recording.
Oh, these words.
All right, so the next one is tiddlingus.
Oh, whoa,
Tiddlingus.
boy.
Dang it.
We are a PG-13 podcast. You're not.
This is not a dirty word.
I know,
This is a
just-
safe word, remember?
That's part of the fun. I'm just having fun with you.
So it's tiddlingus, and your three options are spoken punctuation, as when dictated to a third party.
Okay.
Like onomatopoeia, but boring.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
To fake speaking a language. Or a fungus native to Canada that resembles a cluster of tongues.
I'm gonna go with B, faking a language.
I'm going to go with B also.
Okay, you both think it's to fake speaking a language?
Yes.
C.
Wrong.
What?
Ah!
It is spoken punctuation as when dictated to a third party.
Dang it.
Our definition
So
was
think
better.
like
Yeah.
a voice to text kind of thing. Like you'd have to say like question mark if you wanted to write a question mark for you. I think that's
Yeah.
the context that it's going for.
So like when you're speaking, like doing the spoken text message, you say your sentence and then you say insert tiddlingus, period.
No,
Gosh,
you're
that's so terrible.
you're.
Oh, you
you're
just say
speaking-
period.
Yeah, you just say period.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's tiddlingus to say period right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I heard the lingus part, and I thought when she's talking about like faking a language, it would be like lingo or something,
Yeah.
something along those lines. But
I'm very clever at writing my definitions.
Yes.
I can tell.
Yeah. Okay. The next word is fartlek.
Stinky.
Fartlek.
Ooh.
So is that a form of athletic training that alternates intensive exercises with less intensive ones? Is it an Old English name for the woodpecker? Or is it the opening in a glass maker's furnace where fuel is added?
The fartlek.
You put the fuel into the fartlek. Yeah.
It just like sprays it out.
Aye.
It's combustible.
I think I'm gonna. I have no clue whatsoever on this. You know, I tried making an educated guess on the last one. I'm gonna go with the woodpecker, just cause.
Let's go with C.
So the glassmaker,
Yeah.
you guys are both wrong.
Dang
my
it, we had a
gosh.
2/3 chance.
Yeah.
know.
It is a form of athletic training. It literally means speed play in Swedish. So the Swedes don't know that fart is a silly word here in America.
So if you want to become nice and athletic, make sure you're keeping up with your fart
Practice your fartlek. Yeah.
Gross.
The next one is pakapoo.
Packapoo.
Pakapoo.
Winnie the Pooh's. No, I almost said husband. Winnie the Pooh's friend. I meant cousin. Oh my gosh! All right.
The wonderful thing about what?
Tigger.
I always knew Piglet was more than a friend.
Oh dear.
Okay, so pakapoo.
Packapoo, okay.
Is it a flowering lotus that can also be a source of food?
Yes.
Is it a lottery or raffle?
Yes.
Or is it a gossip or blabbermouth?
Yes.
You got to pick one.
Letter B.
I'll go with the gossip.
Okay, so you think it's the lottery or raffle and you think it's the gossip?
Or both. Watch. Luke's got this one.
Do I have this one? Yes.
Luke's got this one. It is a 19th century Australian word
Dang it.
for
I
a
got
lottery
one.
or raffle.
Wow.
It
So they-
derives from a phrase that means white pigeon ticket. So they think that it must have been like the pigeon was trained to pick out the winner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where we have the Super Lotto, they have Peckapoo.
Yeah.
They have bird lotto.
You'd enter into the pakapoo.
Oh, Packapoo.
Pakapoo. Yeah, not peckapoo, pakapoo.
You pack
Pack
it.
poo.
You pack the poo.
Okay, so what do we got right now? You guys both
I think 1-1.
one and one. Yeah, okay. So here's
house
the
is
last
cleaning
one.
Up.
Here's the last one. Peniophobia.
Oh gosh.
Peniophobia. Now this one you have half the word, okay? So
The
latter half.
Keep going.
The latter half, Dylan.
Keep going.
so this is going to be a half easy round. You just have to figure out what this is a fear of.
Half easy, half hard.
Is
Stop
this
it.
so? Is this the fear of poverty, the fear of punishment, or the fear of forest?
Forests.
Yeah,
Like trees.
yeah.
Spell it again.
Peniophobia.
Could you use it in a sentence?
I have peniophobia.
Can I get the definition?
I gave you three,
Oh,
actually.
it's
so
not a spelling bee.
Repeat the choices again.
the fear of poverty,
Okay.
the fear of punishment, the fear of forests.
Poverty, punishment, or forests.
Do you really have peniophobia?
No,
Because I know you're not afraid of forests.
no, that was just my sample sentence.
Oh. It would have made it a lot easier.
Poverty, punishment, forests.
I.
Oh no, man. I'm leaning between the first two, but I think I'll go with A, and I'll probably get it wrong.
I'm gonna go with letter C.
So he's got the forest.
Okay, and you think it's poverty?
Yeah.
Dylan, you're right.
Ah!
Peniophobia is the fear of poverty.
See, I
Dang it.
thought I.
So Dylan's taking it, but bonus round.
But.
Ooh,
I
twice
gave
the
you
points.
5 words here.
Uh.
One of those I made up completely.
Oh,
Wait, how does that work? she
Ooh.
brings a game and then changes the rules on us last minute.
can we hear the words?
Okay, so the 5 words that I gave you. We had bumfiddle, tiddlingus, fartlek, pakapoo, and peniophobia. One of them is not even a word. I made it up just for this game.
I need to hear them one more time.
Okay, I'm sure your listeners are getting really tired of hearing these crass-sounding words.
How could you get
Bumfiddle?
tired of this?
Bumfiddle,
Uh-huh.
tiddlingus, fartlek, pakapoo, and peniophobia.
I'll go fartlick. That's my guess.
Tiddlingus.
Yes, I made up tiddlingus.
Yeah, I
So-
win. That was double the points.
No, it's not double the points. It's
No,
two
it
and-
was. I
It's
said
2 and 2.
No, you guys just ended up tying.
No, I said it. I said double the points this
No,
round.
that's not your game.
I wrote it in.
You did not bring this onto the podcast. It is not your call.
But
2 for 2.
We all win because we had fun. But can I just say, it was so hard to make up a word. I kept trying to make up these words and I Googled them to make sure they weren't actually words first.
Wait a minute. Well, hold on. So, Tiddlingus, what was the definition that you said was right for that though?
The
I
one
said
that we
was-
didn't guess.
Okay, so that's what I'm just making sure. So neither
Look,
one of
I
us
didn't
got that
want
one
to cheat,
right.
so I predetermined what was going to be the quote unquote right answer for that one.
Okay, so
Oh.
basically whichever one we didn't guess would be the right answer.
No. I predetermined which one was going to be right. You guys could have gotten it
We
right.
just happened to guess it
You just
wrong.
happened to not get it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was like the whole reason I chose that one, because we both got it wrong. I was like, coincidence? I think not, but it was just a coincidence.
Right.
Dang it. Well, anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now after entertaining our lovely listeners for the past, 20 minutes or so, I think it's time for us to go to the entertainment portion of the podcast. And right on cue, Sarah
Much
knew what
better
to do.
than John.
Yeah, there's no neck beard to kind of disrupt the voice
I
there.
can pitch
Take
match.
that, John.
Suck it. All right. So, one of the things that Sarah wanted to not necessarily introduce, it's not a game, but one of the things we were talking about is Disney movies. And so she thought it would be a fun dive for us to go into a discussion about our favorite Disney movie.
Yeah, I'm just bringing that nice feminine touch to your podcast, and you guys have not talked at all about classic Disney cartoons.
That's true.
And girls talk about that all the time.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay.
So I need to know what your guys' favorite Disney cartoon movies are.
Well, what are yours?
Specifically just cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
What are your favorites?
My favorite is The Hunchback of Notre Dame
Yes.
And why?
Because the Hunchback.
because it's the best one.
That-
And that's that. Okay. The episode's over.
The music's amazing. It's got that nice darker tone.
Mm-hmm.
I really like all the spiritual aspects to it. Frollo is the best villain.
Mm-hmm.
That's an objective statement.
Ooh.
And I've just always really liked the movie. I used to watch it constantly when I was in high school.
Right.
High school.
Not
like
as a
when I was
child.
a
Not,
kid.
Yeah.
not,
High
not-
school.
not junior high, not elementary, high school.
My friends and I would get over and come over on a weekly basis, and we'd watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame together.
Yeah.
A
And
weekly basis?
Pretty much
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Dude.
Where was I for that?
at school.
doing boy things.
It was high school. We have flex days on Wednesdays. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
in middle school.
And you
And
know,
I have a little Quasimodo Funko Pop on my desk.
and you know,
He hangs out with Bob Ross.
to Sarah's credit, we were talking about podcast a few episodes back. Some of you should know about CinemaSins, where they take videos and they'll do like a sin tally like throughout the clips as like things don't make sense or just something's going on that's just not relatable or whatever else.
Yeah.
They have a podcast. And so
What?
Yeah, the
Oh.
Sincast guys have a podcast, and there's 3 of them. So there's the voice of the podcast. I think one of our voice of CinemaSins. He's one of the hosts. I think it's his producer, and then there's another guy that they have who does like Sincasts for music videos. But one of those guys, I can't remember who, to Sarah's credit, like I was just saying, actually agreed with her on that. Frollo being one of the best villains ever in the Disney universe, or as far as cartoon villains specifically, he said Frollo is up there.
I'll have to
And
check that
Hellfire
one
is
out.
definitely the best Disney villain
Yeah,
song.
they cited that too, just
Yeah.
because it's like how dark that movie was. Like
So
it's,
That song
intense.
is brutal.
yeah.
It's brutal, but
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yep. How about you, Luke? What's your favorite animated Disney movie?
Ooh, come back to me.
All right. Well, in that case, I will take it from you. For me, I think my favorite is A Bug's Life. That is
That's
my.
Pixar.
No, that was Disney.
It's Disney Pixar.
It's got to be a cartoon.
Oh, come on, really?
Yes.
So it's just like mine doesn't count. It's still a cartoon.
I'm really happy to hear that you like Disney Pixar's Bug's Life, but I want to know about your favorite cartoon Disney movie.
She did say cartoon.
It is a cartoon.
CGI.
No, it's not. It's CGI.
Cartoon generated image. That's what.
Siblings, unite.
Well, you guys are gonna have to wait for Luke then, because I don't have a
Oh,
choice.
shoot. Now I got to come up with one on the spot.
Suck it.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. I
Yep.
like Robin Hood.
Classic. I really like the chicken. Yeah. The chicken with his little lute.
The original hamster dance.
Oh my goodness. It is
you
super
never realize
similar.
that?
It's super similar.
Yeah, the hamster dance just basically took the melody from that song from Robin Hood.
The chicken did it first. It was the rooster's idea.
What came first, the chicken or the hamster?
The chicken.
Now we know.
Now we know. For anybody ever wondering what came first. And now, oh, Dylan's looking. Dude, half of those are CGI.
I'll just
Yeah,
start
but when I Googled cartoon Disney movies, they popped up. And even though they're CGI, they counted apparently to Google standards.
do you mean just start rapid firing Disney movies at you until you pick one you like?
No. Because I picked mine and you guys said it wasn't good. Look at that. Disney Pixar movies, animated, Bugs Life. It's right there.
Yeah, I don't want Disney Pixar. I
That's
just want Disney.
animated. We're talking about
doesn't-
cartoon.
That's what I googled. It says cartoon Disney movies on the Google search.
Well, so Google pulls up slightly unrelated images.
Luke, I remember when you were a kid, you actually were kind of fond of Sleeping Beauty because of the dragon.
That's my favorite Disney princess movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it just because of the dragon, or
just because of the dragon.
Okay.
That's the only reason. The horse was pretty hip too.
what was the horse's name? He had a name, I think.
Philip.
No,
No,
that was
Zach, Greg. I don't know. Something like that.
yeah.
Oh, Hercules was good too, though.
Yeah, Hercules.
Whatever, Goofy movie. There.
Goofy movie.
There
There,
you
you go.
go.
That's a great answer.
You already talked about that.
You
one, so
really
that's
like the
good.
Goofy movie.
Yeah, I do.
You have like a
You
Goofy
like that one better than
pillowcase.
Bugs Life. Be real.
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, you do.
Now, which one do you like better, the Goofy movie or the one where he goes off to college?
Yes. I'm not one of those people who always gets all super anal and like, oh man, the sequel wasn't as good as the original. Like, I liked them both. The same with you look at the Home Alone movies. Not that we're talking about that in the category right now, but people are just like, oh, Home Alone 1 was way better than Home Alone 2. It's like I thought they were both great. Like,
Well, sometimes it's valid though. Like
Most of
Atlantis.
no, I'm not saying it can't be, but I'm
Ooh.
just saying in
Atlantis.
Atlantis was really good.
Oh,
I like
shoot.
Atlantis a lot.
That
A
was
lot
on
of
the
people
list.
didn't like Atlantis, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, Atlantis was great, and there's a lot of diehard fans out there that are asking for a live action. I know you're not a fan of live action.
not a fan of live action
reboots,
remakes.
Sarah. I think Atlantis could be a cool live action.
It could be.
reboot, though.
And what's funny too, you guys brought up Atlantis. It's, with all this stuff going around right now with like the Disney movies either being new storylines or new female-driven movies. As the female lead characters, they're like they're like Twitter posts saying like oh hey I'm so glad that there's now female lead characters in these movies to give young women a strong influence or a strong idol to look up to. And it's just like, how about Atlantis when the princess pretty much like saved everybody like with her superpowers and everything? Like
Esmeralda, I'm just going to say, Esmeralda was a great female character.
yeah, there were plenty of other strong female iconic cartoon characters for them to look up to, and they just
Cut a
ignored.
curtain with a frisbee hat.
How come Mulan
That's
doesn't
true.
Mulan doesn't even get mentioned?
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, not she's necessarily a princess, but still strong female lead. I love that movie.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to change my answer to Atlantis.
Atlantis.
I completely forgot about Atlantis.
That's good.
But
He's
in
an
all
Atlantean.
fairness, Dylan didn't give me much time. I said, "Oh, it's Pixar."
Yeah, you guys didn't give me time either, apparently. So
Dylan,
whatever.
what's your favorite Disney princess movie?
None.
You don't like any of them?
No. Why would I? I'm not a girl. Why would I like that?
I mean, Sleeping Beauty had the dragon in
The
it.
dragon.
I don't care.
What? You don't care about dragons?
It took too long.
That's like that shaped my idea of what a dragon should be.
I'm sorry for that because I've watched anime, so I had better ideas of what dragons should look like.
You watched anime as a child?
Yeah, my brother would actually get VHS
Oh, that's
tapes.
right. You had older brothers.
I had Connects, man.
You only had an older sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kept just showing you Hunchback over and over again.
I liked Hunchback of Notre Dame for the same reason I like Home Alone. It's like nothing until
Macaulay
the
Culkin.
end, and then at the end it gets hilarious.
See, I find the first half better than the second half because the first half has all the songs in it.
Well, it's good now. Watching it now, I appreciate the first half more. But as a kid watching it again, like Home Alone, you just wait at the end till everybody gets
that part
the
where
butts
Hugo
kicked.
the gargoyle spits up and starts chewing a bunch of rockets.
Yes,
That's
that
the
was
best scene.
That was the best scene. Any guy will probably attest. That was oh man.
Boiling lava in a pot just on the top of the cathedral.
Yep.
So what? Yeah. So people listening, what's your favorite Disney movie? We're gonna be. I'm guessing we're gonna put that on social media. If we don't, sorry. Let us know
you
anyway.
can either agree with me that it's Hunchback of Notre Dame, or you can have another like wrong answer. Whatever works for
We
you.
let her onto this podcast, and she's already just like talking crap on us.
We've given her a platform. Huh?
Gosh, man. She comes back again.
You can't get rid of me.
So yeah.
Oh, at least on the podcast. I mean,
And honestly, if you're listening to this, you probably already saw the Instagram post anyway. But who knows? I'll ask you guys on Instagram, hopefully, what your favorite Disney movie is, and it's got to be a Disney cartoon.
yeah.
Cartoon
Animated.
Yeah.
drawn by hand, not on a computer.
No, apparently not. Even though those are the better ones.
Do you want to talk about Bugs Life a little bit?
No,
I
it's,
think
no,
that'd
that's
be
not
great.
what we're talking. It's not one of the
I like
topics.
Bugs Life
we
a
have,
lot.
We have a lot on our docket. All right, we cannot talk about what I like
You,
anymore.
you don't want to do favorite Disney Pixar movies?
No, not at this point.
Oh.
We'll cross that bridge on the next episode.
Next episode when Sarah's not here?
Yes.
Stole your topic!
That's okay. I'm just glad to have inspired you.
Hey.
All right, but you did cite that one of the reasons why you liked Hunchback of Notre Dame was the sound and the score and like the soundtrack of the movie. So one of the other things you added onto this list was guilty pleasure music. So can you go into
That's got to be one of them, right?
Hellfire?
No, I don't feel guilty about that one, but I will say there are many movies and musicals that I enjoy that I really shouldn't enjoy because I think the music's fantastic.
So what are your guilty pleasure songs?
Oh gosh, I really enjoy Rent.
What is Rent?
Everybody has AIDS. No,
That's pretty much the plot.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It takes place in the late 80s during the AIDS crisis. It's a bunch of people with AIDS.
Although that little bit I just sung was actually not from the movie.
That's not actually.
It was from.
That's like the Family Guy
It was from a
parody or
Trey.
something.
It was a Trey Parker and Matt Stone movie they made called Team America World Police, and they made fun of Rent in that
Yeah,
movie.
so that was a parody.
Yeah, it was a parody called Lease.
But it's just like got this like, it's like a rock opera. Mm-hmm. And so the music in there is really exciting.
Yeah.
And fun to listen to, and I listen to it a lot, even though it's some touchy subject matter.
Yeah.
So I guess I just, now that I've poured myself out there, I want to know if you guys have any other music that you would consider a guilty pleasure.
I have a lot of fun listening to the stereotypical Jewish music.
What?
I can dig it.
What does that even mean?
Like, if you guys want a good example, there's a Christmas album called Oi to the World.
Oh my gosh!
It's Jewish Christmas music, which is ironic. But like the clarinet and like the oompa going on in the bass line, and just it's super fun. And I don't know,
oompa, doompa.
no.
Is your guilty pleasure music all the Oompa Loompa songs from Willy Wonka?
No, not mine.
Does that count as guilty pleasure? I don't know.
I don't know. Something that was probably like.
If you feel weird about it, if it came on in your car while someone else was in there, I would count it.
Yes.
something.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
I'll throw another one out there just to make you more comfortable. I have a song from Glee on my personal usual playlist. It's a Run Joey Run, which makes it even weirder because it's just an obscure song from like the 70s.
Right.
Yeah. I would have to say the Jewish music is definitely the top one for me. We did it in my jazz ensemble once at school. Some Jewish music. I was like, this is awesome. We never performed it, but just reading through it was great.
Right. Oh my gosh, man! It caught me so off guard when you just come out and just say like, yeah, Jewish Christmas.
That was a fantastic answer, and it's exactly what I was hoping for with this topic.
Whoa.
So yeah, check it out. Oi to the World. They've got
Oh my
little
gosh.
MP3s that you can sample. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think for me, and I don't know like how out of the ordinary this really is, but I think for me, one of the songs is it's actually a Justin Bieber one, that "Love Yourself" song. Like I don't
It's
like.
a great one.
Yeah, do you know what that one is, Luke, by chance?
Love yourself.
Yeah. So if you like,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. So there's that one, and then I kind of go a little bit old school. I do like listening to some boy bands, NSYNC and like 90, like here we go one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Yeah. So I will rock out to those songs just
Hey.
to have fun with it.
We should get bleach tips together.
Oh no.
Remember the night
My
you
brother had
realized,
bleach tips.
Dylan, do you remember the night you realized you got to quit your job and we were like driving around blasting bye bye bye?
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude, it was the greatest thing ever. When I got the call from my current job and that they were gonna like offer me a rate that was gonna be comparable for me to switch job positions and everything.
Yeah.
Like me and Sarah went out. We celebrated at I almost said Stizzler. We celebrated at Sizzler. Sizzler Diner. We celebrated at Sizzler, and I got some nice steak and everything. It was super delicious. And then as we're driving home, we started blasting bye 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 bye.
Like all the breakup songs we could think of, but that was his favorite.
Dude, it was one of the best nights of my life. But yeah, so that was pretty awesome and fun.
Do you remember when we all dressed up as clowns for Halloween that one year? And we piled into that minivan
Why is we're talking about guilty pleasure music?
and
I'm trying
started
to see
blasting Old MacDonald
Oh my gosh.
as we drove through the neighborhood with the windows
Okay, now
down.
I remember.
That was one of my favorite Halloween memories ever.
Dude.
And then we stop at a house and like literally we were all dressed up as like 7 clowns piling out of that van.
Dude, you know what was so sad about that night? Okay, so everyone's dressed as clowns. I think we had a hobo clown, just typical clowns. I was a scary clown, and so I had the white face paint on, but then I would do like I highlighted my eyes and mouth with black makeup. And so I'm going around like hoping to kind of scare a few people, like at the different harvest festivals we're going to. Don't scare anybody. I walk home, or not walk home. I walk through the front door of my house, and I end up scaring my little niece. I was like, I scared nobody, and then I ended up traumatizing a little
You didn't
baby.
look scary.
I
You just looked like a clown.
But again, it's like people have the clownophobia or whatever.
You're at a disadvantage because now I think it's been revived since It came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The new It.
I mean, that came out this year, the second one.
No, I'm talking about the part one.
Right.
Yeah. So
But-
I'm saying I think like for a while there, like the clown phobia was at like a little
But even like
mild
and now
state,
it's
and
back.
then all of a sudden it's like way up, and
no, it's like
everybody's
but
afraid
you
of
can
clowns
still
again.
you can still even talk to people about clowns, and then they'll cringe at it, even just the mention of the name clown.
Well, there was that little bit of time where there were a bunch of like clown sightings.
Oh yeah, this was I think what Sarah was talking about when It One was about to get released. Part
Yeah,
one.
I think a lot
Yeah.
of people think that was just like a viral marketing tactic by the people who made it.
Yeah, so we just missed that.
Yeah. Oof, man, that'd be nightmarish, because there was like stories of like people going jogging through the woods and like seeing that crap happen to them. Just like,
Yeah.
nope. Like I'm not afraid of clowns. I'm just afraid of creepy people in the woods by themselves when I'm alone as well.
Yeah,
That's not something I want to run into.
I was the clown with the fat pants.
Oh yeah.
I wore my dad's pants and put one of those super long pillows in there,
Like a body
Oh,
pillow.
gosh.
like a body pillow. Yeah, so I put that inside the pants with some suspenders. I looked awesome.
Chonky the clown.
Chonky the clown.
Yeah. So in other entertainment news, now that we're kind of transitioning once again, I don't know if you guys saw, but Stranger Things 4 released a teaser trailer.
Yeah, they showed that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I wouldn't
yeah.
call it a trailer.
No. That's why I specified teaser trailer. It's not. If it was a full blown trailer, then it'd be,
75% teaser.
It was an animated poster.
oh my goodness, whatever.
All it did was zoom out.
Yeah, but we're not in Hawkins anymore, right?
I know.
And I'm still excited to see it because I love this show. I want to see where it's going. R.I.P. To certain people in the last. I don't know if is it fine to talk about spoilers for that. I mean, it's been out for months now.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, you know what, people? I'm sorry if you haven't seen it by now. Like that's your bad. But R.I.P. Billy. That one hit me hard, dude. That sucked. But yeah, so super excited for that. From what I'm reading, it should be released fall of 2020. They don't have a specific date, but that's what they're looking to aim for is next fall. So only a year from now.
It's gonna be back to Halloween time.
I know
Yeah.
it'll be great. They'll get
Finally,
the spookiness and
it just
whatever.
wasn't the same in the summer, or I think the season 2 was like December or something like that. It just wasn't the
No,
same.
season 1 was December because that was Christmas.
What?
That's when the mom
Yeah.
had the lights and everything.
She's buying
remember
all the Christmas,
Christmas
lights.
lights.
Season 2
That-
was around Halloween because I remember
Yeah, that's when they went out.
that's
dressed
how
as-
we spent our Halloween that year. Is we just like
Yeah, we
got
chose-
Chipotle.
Anyway,
And watch
releasing
Stranger
Stranger Things at Halloween is the way to go.
Oh yeah, of course, because you
It's
want to give
perfect.
people
It's a
those
good night.
those frightening, ghoulish nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and dude, we gotta discuss, and we'll do it later on. Obviously, we're not gonna bore everybody with that, but we gotta plan out the Halloween episode, man, because that's gonna be great. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of spooky things, I don't know if you guys read comics too much, but Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, actually entered the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest running creator-owned comic for Spawn, as I mentioned.
wow.
Yeah, so if you don't know Spawn, I mean, it's a guy who was a former soldier and then ended up getting, once he died, got sent to hell and made a deal with the devil. This sounds really dark, but it is.
And I thought I should feel guilty for liking Rent.
I thought that was Doomy Turtles.
It's not
I'm
Doomy.
sorry, Doomy Turtle singular.
Dewey Turtles, stupid.
Yeah, just
Oh
like
my
Luke. But anyway, yeah. So it's an interesting read and everything. But yeah, so the super cool. Congratulations to Todd McFarlane for getting that. And like I said, he did get entered into the Guinness World Book of Records for that. So
Way to go,
congratulations! Woohoo!
Good job, Todd.
Now, as we come to the conclusion of our entertainment portion, we actually have 2 movie reviews.
Woo.
Luke, this first one, I don't know if you'll be able to have too much input on it, and I apologize for that. But 2 weeks ago, me and Sarah saw a somewhat of an indie film. It was made by Amazon Studios. It's called Brittany Runs a Marathon.
I don't think Amazon Studios counts as an indie film.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. They don't really. I'm not,
That's true.
Okay, maybe not indie was the right word, but
It's
it's
like
just
a festival film.
It's still it's more festival-ish.
That's that one girl from Pitch Perfect.
Was she in Pitch Perfect?
Oh shoot!
Was she not? The blonde woman, right?
She is. Blonde
It wasn't
in the
Rebel
movie, but-
Wilson.
No, yeah, it's not
the
Rebel.
Australian gal.
No?
No.
Who
No.
was it?
It's sorry, I have the cast list right here. It's Jillian Bell.
Let me see.
Boom,
She's in
there's
like
her.
everything, but this is
She's-
one of the first times she's like starred in
yeah.
something.
She usually plays
you're
like
right.
a supporting comic actress or whatever to whoever. She was in
Yeah.
what was it Rough Night with
Rough Night.
Scarlett Johansson, where they had like a bachelor party where they ended up killing somebody.
She was
and,
Seth
like,
Rogen's wife in The Night Before.
Yeah, yeah. So she usually plays like I said, a backup comedic character. But no, she did really good in this movie. And before we get too far
It's on
into it-
Amazon.
No. It came out to theaters because Amazon's actually starting to release good quality movies
Movies.
now. Yeah.
Wow.
And speaking of movies, just as before we get into the review of this one specifically, Brittany Runs a Marathon, we finally jotted down our movie criteria. All three of us the other night when.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Luke came over, we decided to kind of brainstorm, do some things. And so, as our movie criteria goes, we have plot, and that would kind of encompass originality and the cast if they perform well. Action / comedy / drama, depending on what the movie was, how well did that deliver? The music, did it make you really feel for the character and deep moments and funny moments, stuff like that? And then the overall length of the movie, because we did talk about how movies that are under an hour and a half long are kind of, maybe they should be a little longer.
Yeah.
And then also just kind of a bonus category, the wow factor. Did you walk away just feeling, great about that movie? Did it really surprise you and give you a good feeling at the end of it, or just whatever? Did it feel like a good movie overall? And we will give content warnings that doesn't necessarily factor into the grade of the movie. And yeah, so that's basically it though. So Sarah, being one of the few people at this table who saw the movie, how did you feel?
I actually really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was pretty interested in this movie. I don't know how interested you were.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I know we went together, but I wasn't sure whose idea it was.
Yeah, no. So it was literally because we had seen trailers for it, and it was like I think one day when I got out of work or whatever, we said like, hey, we got some time. It's a Friday. I don't have to worry about the Saturday tomorrow. Do you want to go see a movie? And we decided Brittany Runs a Marathon was the one to go see. And the plot of this movie is an overweight woman just kind of decides she wants to kind of turn her life around and start getting healthy, and so she decides to take up running as a hobby and decide, obviously, as the title implies, to run a marathon.
The New York Marathon, which
Yes,
is
specifically the New
a
York
giant
Marathon.
one.
And
A giant. It's a marathon.
No, like
Oh, you mean people?
People.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
I was
Yeah.
like, they're all 26.2 miles.
yeah, yeah, all marathons are long. So, but yeah. So as far as the plot goes, how would you say it delivered?
I thought it was very effective, and the trailer did not give away too much of it.
Right,
which was always great. Yeah. I don't want to say too much more about it because personally I like going into movies knowing as little about the plot as possible.
Yeah, and
So-
and I can agree with that. Like we discussed with the plot and everything. This is based on a true story,
Yes.
which is nice to know.
Yeah, that's
I-
also another fun thing in a movie.
Yeah, because I always like being able to see stuff like that. Is just get these inspiring stories or whatever else. It was really cool because as someone who just went through a weight loss program myself, and I'm still kind of on track for it. It was cool to see relatable moments throughout the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where either she like we talked about, she's having highs, she's having lows, just different things throughout, and how it does really speak to anybody who can be in that position
Yeah.
of just feeling down on yourself or feeling defeated, but then still managing to fight through those moments.
Yeah, this film did a really good job of really portraying the kind of insecurities that you feel when you're trying to improve yourself.
Right.
One scene in particular that really stuck out to me is when she first decides to go jogging. She gets the shoes on, she gets her outfit on, and she gets out onto the sidewalk where she's going to start jogging. And she just stares at the end of the block.
Yeah,
and
she says, "One block."
I'm just going to run to the end of the block. And so you see her and she's running, but she's never run before. And as she's getting to the last 50 feet of this block, the camera work, it adjusts the focus so that it's literally lengthening as she's looking
Right.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just felt so real. And there's just so many moments in there like that where if you've ever tried to improve your fitness or improve your dieting or your lifestyle or anything like that, a lot of really relatable moments where you're like, yes, that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah, so I definitely say that plot-wise, cast-wise, good supporting actors. Maybe not a lot of people that you might have heard of.
Which is good because
yeah.
it makes you feel more immersed instead of just oh, well, there's Tom Cruise talking straight to this person.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise is not in
Yeah.
the movie, by the way.
No.
Let's clarify that. But yeah, so overall, I think the plot and cast definitely delivered on that. So
Jillian did a
cry?
great job.
what's that?
Did you cry?
I I might have teared up. I can't quite remember, but yeah,
I don't really cry in movies.
She
You
doesn't
don't cry in
I'm-
movies either?
I'm the
Not
crier.
really.
I actually.
It's a genetic thing.
We're just cold stones.
You guys just don't have hearts.
emotionless.
Well, I feel it. I just my
My
eyes
face,
don't.
yeah.
yeah,
The feelings are there,
cry,
just
yeah.
like my eyeballs don't receive it.
right. So
I use antiperspirant deodorant in my eyes just so that I won't be able to cry.
I feel like that would make you cry more, but
No, because
that would sting.
it's magic. It dries up
That's
stuff.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, it like
Well, it apparently works for him.
Things in your
Works on
eyes still
armpits.
burn. All right, but
His armpits
anyway,
never cry.
Move it along here.
yeah, it hurts, but
I
it
said moving.
dries up the
I said
tears.
moving along. Stop it.
Fine.
All right, so going on to the next category, I do feel like this movie was a dramedy, and you would agree with me on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, just the high low moments of the movie where she's struggling with doing the weight loss and then also finding success in certain goals that she's made for herself. I'd say, this, like I said, it was definitely relatable 100%, and had good uplifting moments, and then also those tougher moments like we talked about, where either she's struggling with friendships, she's struggling with just herself and the diet that's going on, and just trying to find motivation to get out the door. It's all relatable, it's all great, and it all works to, again, boost the plot, boost the actors really delivered on that, which was just a nice thing to see.
Yeah, I would agree. Again, Jillian Bell did a really great job. She is known more in the comedy sector, and so when you watch the trailer, you see a lot more of those like bubbly, fun moments. Like she's saying, "Oh, so I need to," she's at the doctor's, and the doctor says, "You need to lose 55 pounds," and she's like, "That's the size of a husky.
Yeah,
you need me to pull a husky off my body."
Yeah, you want me to lose a dog?
So there's that charm that she brings to it, but again, there also are a lot of really deep, like real struggles that she goes through, and so. A lot of the movie does grapple with that and her relationships with people, and so it's not. I would say it's more drama than comedy, but it's definitely a feel good drama,
Right.
I guess.
Okay. And then let's see. I believe just quickly for length, I think it did make the criteria for over an hour and a half long. So
Yeah, it didn't feel too long or too short or anything.
yeah. So you didn't sit there like looking at your watch. Oh man, how long is this thing? Is it overbearing? Is it just too slow or anything like that? No, they kept you entertained throughout the whole thing. So that's definitely a plus. And then music, it wasn't necessarily a huge musical score flick, but I think the music did its part to really set the tone for whatever scene was going on, whether it was a more lighthearted moment or a deep dark thing.
This is going to be ironic given everything else I've said on this podcast up to this point, but I don't have any recollection of the music in this movie.
Well, like I said, it wasn't. It's one of the things where it's hard to judge a movie on criteria for music, but even still, like if it's not necessarily a huge operatic type film or something where it's like got a huge original score, say like Star Wars or maybe Interstellar even, but it's still like I said, it helps to set the mood of the movie.
So I guess I'll just say the music wasn't distracting, apparently.
Yeah, most of the time, if it matters, it'll stand out.
Yeah.
Interstellar
Yeah.
being one of them, with Hans Zimmer falling asleep on his organ. Many people have called it. And then Rogue One, I think, is another one that's a good example. I thought Rogue One's music was terrible. They tried to modify the Star Wars theme song so it was similar but not quite the same.
Right.
And it just sounded like it was written by a high school student.
Don't mess with John Williams.
Yeah.
Huh?
Don't mess with John
Don't mess with
Williams.
John Williams. He'll
right.
kick your butt every time.
Yeah, and then wow factor. Like I said, I think it was definitely a great movie to check out. I think I'd give it the wow factor stamp of
Oh,
approval.
yeah, for sure. I walked out of there being like, wow.
Yeah. So
Again,
and then-
the ending of it, by the time we got to the end, I was like, that is not how I expected to feel at the end of this movie, but I think it's good.
yeah.
What about the Naomi Wolf factor?
She wasn't in it.
Well,
Anyway,
so 0?
Yeah,
No-
zero.
no-
The
not-
Naomi Wolf factor is very low in this one, as she is not in the film.
yeah, the only thing close to a wolf mention was the husky. That
Yeah,
she said
they talk about a husky in one scene, but that's it.
Yeah.
So 1.
it's not
0.5.
Naomi. though.
0.5. Okay.
And just to close this out, content warning: there was language, there was adult content as far as.
She explores romantic relationships a little
Yes,
bit.
there are some romances going
as she
on.
develops her interpersonal connections.
Yes, but no gore, no violence. Just
Yeah.
again, language and yeah. No nudity. We'll say that.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
they were just adult themes throughout.
It's a movie for grown-ups, but
Yeah,
not
don't
like
take your-
in
don't
a
take your kids.
gratuitous way.
Yeah. So overall, Sarah, how would you rate this movie? Let's see. Do you want to go on a grading scale, or would you like out of 5
letters.
stars?
Letters.
Okay, Luke's calling for letters. So on a
Are
scale,
you talking about like letter grades?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
or am I just
school,
supposed to be
F-
like on a scale from
F-
A to Z?
F to A, where does it land? Hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty nice. I say it's like an A minus.
Yeah, and I think I'd agree there with you. Maybe like A minus.
It was really, really well done. I think it won several like film festival awards, which is why they decided to bring it to theaters.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
make it 3 for 3. I thought it was an A minus too.
Get out
Did
of
we
here.
make you
didn't
want to
see-
see it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, based on your reviews, I think it's an A minus also.
Oh my goodness. All right. Luke's adorable here.
I am adorable.
It's not
You
an
guys should
exciting
see
movie,
me.
so don't watch it expecting like exciting.
Well, it's not an action movie. That's what I said.
Yeah,
it's a dramedy.
exactly. So if you're into those kind of like artsy, not artsy, but contemplative kind of movies,
Well, like indie.
it's got a bit of an indie vibe to it.
But when I said it doesn't count as an indie. All right, so that wraps up our review for Brittany Runs a Marathon. But now, the moment you guys have been waiting for, our review for Joaquin Phoenix as
Joker.
Joker.
That actually was a little closer.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I
I-
can't do like the male falsetto because I just have my lady voice.
Yeah, I can do some pretty
Yeah.
good Jokers. So, we all three at this table have seen it. One caveat, sadly, Luke had to walk out of the theater. But
5 minutes before it ended.
I had to walk out of the theater 5 minutes before it ended. I had another commitment.
But we filled him in.
yes,
So I know exactly what happened.
that being said, I will open it up to you guys first. Luke, how did you feel about the Joker?
Well, I thought it was the most interesting take we've ever gotten on the Joker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it was a good idea to go into his origin story. It's a little different than what I was expecting.
Oh, yeah.
They did a good job of letting us know why he's so Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this without spoiling
Yes,
anything.
we are-
'cause it's
we're-
opening weekend.
Yeah, we will not spoil things on opening weekend for you folks or listeners, whatever. We tend to not do that. We will give you good praises, good reviews without doing that. And then maybe do deep dives later on for bigger films throughout the year.
I'll tell you this: I walked out feeling a little bit like the Joker.
Yeah.
It's creepy because he's a psychopath, and you feel a little weird about it. But you walk out feeling a little bit like the Joker. You just expect that you're about to snap and do something crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but they did a good job of getting you to feel where he's at.
Yeah, and what you were saying, Luke, talking about like the origin story of the Joker, and it's because that's what this movie is, and that's what the trailer leads you to see and believe and everything. And it's crazy, and like you said, it's a unique concept because I don't think they've ever really done a deep dive origin story, from the past Batmans and stuff, with Jack Nicholson. He falls into a vat of chemicals, and boom, he's the Joker. Like that's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
But here it's like
Well, wasn't he the Red Hood before?
Joker?
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily.
He was a different villain and then fell into a vat of acid and it bleached his skin, turned his hair green.
From what I recall from DC Comics, again, I'm not super deep dive on DC for the sake of argument, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying, but I don't know too much about DC is basically what I'm getting at. But from what I recall, the Joker has always been just this anomaly of a person to where nobody knows who he is. He just has this face paint and this just manic psychopath personality that just puts Batman in tough situations and has.
There might be multiple origin stories because I know
And there always are with DC
I know
Comics.
for sure there is a strain of origin story that he was already an established villain.
Right.
And like I said, fell into a vat of acid, and that's where the metamorphosis happened. He went from
Somewhat normal
villain to like villain with a thing,
Right.
Yeah.
So, did you have any more commentary on it, or?
Well, we're talking about the plot right now, right?
Well, I mean, we could just overall feel. So we'll
It's
get
like
into
initial thoughts.
Yeah, just initial
Initial
thoughts.
thoughts.
So,
Yeah,
like you
it
said, you
was-
walked out feeling like the Joker.
A little bit, yeah. It was. I think it was a little better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I didn't have very high expectations for this movie. The commercials never really made me excited for it. But they pulled it off. It was a different movie than I thought they were going for.
Right.
And I think that was a good thing.
Okay.
So yeah, not too shabby.
All right. Sarah, how about you?
Well, I think this was kind of like my summary when you guys both separately asked me what I thought of it. I just thought it was so sad, which I guess lines up with what Luke said, where you walk out feeling like the Joker, because that's kind of you know, again, not that I'm trying to like give anything away, but I don't think it's giving anything away to say like he's just a very sad guy. Like he's a sad person that struggles with mental illness is kind of the gist of this movie. That being said, I enjoyed it. I don't see superhero movies too often. Comic movies.
Well, I think the director even said he's like, this is not a typical superhero movie, supervillain movie. Like, and they've stated several times, like, don't take your kids to see this. This is not one of those movies.
There was a sign that said that right outside the theater when we saw it.
So I was gonna say, and we will agree with that. Do not take your kids to see this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sarah, this is a little bit more of your kind of.
It was.
Comic movie.
I'm not super into the comic movies. I end up seeing most of them just because Dylan's so into them. But
And even then, it's still rare.
Yeah. Yeah, even then, a lot of times I'm just like, you go, have fun, bye. But this one, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go see that one. I like movies that have some kind of an odd psychological bent, and this definitely scratched that itch.
Yeah,
So-
and then it wasn't just filled with mindless action.
Yeah, action
nothing
scenes
like that.
bore me to death. That's my problem with these Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was really interesting, really cool. You know, like you said, you get into the mind and the origin of Joker, but ultimately it's just very sad, but like in an effective way. Like you walk away feeling sad, but I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah. So I like the bam and smash and bang of the Marvel movies, but it is nice to get some character development. And
Right.
This one was
All
all
character
character development.
Oh yeah, it was. I think for me, overall feel, I will go on record as saying this: Joaquin Phoenix is Joker is on par with Heath Ledger. I will make that claim.
We'll get more into this.
Look, those moments, man, where like he starts to come together as the Joker,
Snappy red suit.
just everything when he starts to like just go for it, dude. I was fearful again, as you said. You walked out of the theater feeling like Joker. I was walking out of there like, holy
Yeah, he makes you
crap.
feel
Like,
icky for sure.
like just those few scenes,
Chilling.
few moments, just it's like, oh my gosh, it's like just the way he again developed the character and the way it comes across on screen. Joaquin Phoenix delivered, and I'm not saying he's better than, I'm saying he's on par with. It was a great performance by
I'll tell
Joaquin
you
Phoenix.
what I think. Joaquin Phoenix acted his butt off.
All 130 pounds of
Yeah,
himself.
he was awesome in this movie. I'll give you that. I wish you could have put Mark Hamill's voice into Joaquin Phoenix. He sounded a little bit closer to Harley Quinn, in my opinion. His voice, especially like his laugh and just the way he articulated some syllables, reminded me a little bit more of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
I have a weird comment about his voice.
Yeah,
He kind of reminded me of Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
I was kind of getting some Bill Murray vibes off of Joaquin
I can
Phoenix's
kind
Joker.
of, I can kind of see that. Yeah, I was
Like
also
just kind of
getting,
like the aloof, is he okay up there kind of weirdo? Like sometimes Bill Murray throws off that vibe, and I kind of got that from him.
Yeah, I was kind of getting an Elmo vibe also.
Elmo.
Elmo. He sounded like Elmo. That's
We're not talking about Patrick Mahomes yet. We're not even in the sports section.
that's my biggest problem with Joaquin Phoenix. It's not really his problem. He like I said, he acted his butt off. Good job, Joaquin Phoenix. It's just a voice thing that couldn't quite put him on par with Heath Ledger, in my opinion.
Okay.
So if you could have put Mark Hamill's voice into Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Hamill was cartoon Joker for years.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And he, yeah,
I'm
that's
all
right.
here
yeah, you're wondering how Star
I
Wars
guess
relate.
Luke just really likes Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah, Mark Hamill. If you watch a cartoon Joker, it's probably Mark Hamill. So if you could have put that voice into Joaquin Phoenix, let Joaquin Phoenix still do all the acting, ooh, that would be a potent Joker.
But see, that's the easy road that Mark Hamill had, and I'm not trying to take anything away because I loved watching the cartoons growing up with my brother and everything on Saturday morning. But he didn't have to act it out; he just had to sit there and do a voice.
Right, and that's why it's just a voice thing for me.
Right.
Like I said, I think his acting was spot on. It was perfect, but it just the laugh wasn't quite right, and his voice, I think, was a little more Harley Quinn-ish.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. But all right. So that being said, overall rating going into the plot, I think we're all in agreement. Delivered.
Plot was great.
Yeah, good job.
Cast delivered. And let's see. In the trailer, he says, "I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now it's a comedy."
Yeah.
How do we where would you classify this movie as far as genre goes? Just
Psychological thriller.
Okay, so we got psycho thriller.
I don't know if I would call it a thriller though. It was at the very end. It gets thrilling. That's a tough one. Though.
Well, there's
Is
a
it
lot of
thriller?
moments, like, it's just this building creepiness throughout the whole movie. I mean, it's a very intense movie, like, emotionally.
Yeah.
Right. And, yeah,
Because
it's
you're
not,
watching this person's descent, again, it's this person's descent into mental illness, going from, just kind of being somewhat aware that they have a problem to just, like, full on living in it.
Yeah. Ugh. That's, I guess, I'm not quite there at thriller, but I don't know what else to call it.
yeah, it's tough to categorize. So, but whatever I don't know, whatever you would classify this movie as, I guess it delivers. If we can find a word to fit it, maybe one of our listeners can go see it themselves and then figure out like, oh yeah, I think it would fit into this category.
As a
And-
person that enjoys psychological thrillers, I would say that it definitely satisfies the wanting for a psychological thriller if you like those.
So there you go.
yeah.
That's why that's my genre classification.
Yeah.
Jumping into length, the movie was just over 2 hours long.
Perfect length.
Perfect length.
Yeah.
Didn't leave you feeling any lull moment, any boring, like I just stated with the last movie. So delivered on that. Definitely had a wow factor, and that wow factor was Joaquin Phoenix's performance. I would say. And then music. Yeah, I
The music just added to the creepiness.
yeah, just
so many times.
They have this. What is it? It's like this. It almost sounds like what I could best describe as a somber violin, like throughout certain moments for the scenes and stuff. Just like that.
Well, it's almost like a slowed down circus song, which I think is what they were going
Yes,
for.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but
Yeah, it's quite circusy, but a sad circus.
Yeah.
yeah. So
The sad clown, of course.
It just builds up the character. It just shows the deep hurt in certain scenes. It just. Oh gosh, it just gives you that creepy vibe, and it works. It works really well for the different scenes that they had in the movie.
Yeah, and there's a few scenes that have a talk show, like a late night show kind of on it. The late night show theme song, I was digging. That was, I really
Completely random,
That's
but
yeah.
Luke's other guilty pleasure genre is like the Wheel of
Talking.
Fortune theme
Yeah.
song.
and it all counts as soundtrack. So I thought it was a good theme song for that late night show. So good
All
job on the soundtrack too.
All right. So content warning. There is language. Nothing too much as far as any kind of sexual behavior or whatever else like that. Or there's nothing like that at all, really. But it is violent.
There are
I will say
multiple
that.
on-screen murders. So
I don't know if that's necessarily a spoiler. I don't know if we want to say that.
That's
But-
not a spoiler.
Not a spoiler.
You'd be surprised people complain about.
You'd expect people to die in a movie like that.
You think there's gonna be a Joker movie without a death?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh come on, that's not a spoiler. People die in this movie, guys.
look,
I think if you look at the R violence rating, it says because like the R rating, it says it's for violence. I don't think what I said was any different from that.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you'd be surprised when other people try to do podcasts and, like, someone will go into a, not even necessarily a super detailed moment, but, like, they'll say just, like, oh, there's a twist, or there's a this, there's a that. Like, people will just start blasting them on social media saying, you gave a spoiler away.
I don't care.
All right. I'm just, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
at
be
if
some
you
point,
thought
we
that
gotta
nobody
take a
was going to be
stand.
murdered in the Joker movie, then you just need to get out more.
Yeah,
So,
at some point we got to take a stand and say, look, guys, we got to talk about it. We're
it's a
trying to hype up the
psychological
movie
thriller.
for you.
People get murdered.
Yeah, other
Well,
people
I
want to
tried.
hear it. So
Nobody cares. All right. So, overall grade, let's see, going from F to A, where do you guys rank it?
I give it a solid A.
Solid A?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's an A. Again, I have very little reference point here for,
Just
Joker
as a movie.
movies. And, yeah.
Just as a movie.
Yeah,
That's
as a
all you have
movie,
to grade it
I enjoyed
on.
it. I guess I called it an A.
Yeah, I'll say A. So, boom.
All A's.
Triple A's across the board.
Hey.
Good job, Joaquin Phoenix. We love you. Come on the podcast. We would love to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be so awesome.
Can you imagine?
For the Halloween episode, he's gonna get a hold of us that quickly.
Yep. So look forward.
We
We're going to
wish.
have
As
Joaquin
long as it's just Joaquin Phoenix and not the actual Joker. I don't want the Joker
Yes.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. Anyway,
So we're going to have Joaquin Phoenix on the podcast on
Totally.
October 31st.
spoiler alert.
I don't know when it's going to be released. But yeah, look forward to that one. The podcast closest to Halloween. Joaquin Phoenix is going to be here. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
totally.
That's
Don't miss it.
True. For sure.
All right. And with the conclusion of our review, Luke, I think it's time for us to dive into sports.
Sports.
All right. right, guys, here we are on the sports segment of our podcast. We saved the best for last, and we have a ton to talk about, starting with baseball, because I want to end with some football. All right, so that being said, at the end of the regular season, the Angels have decided to fire and part ways with their GM. Luke, how are you feeling?
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's maybe a little quick. There's a reason into it. So I'm gonna say this was his first season as manager.
Okay.
So he got fired after one season. It was a pretty lousy season. Not entirely his fault, but I'll tell you why they fired him.
Okay.
The manager for the Cubs, Joe Madden? Who's the football guy? John Madden.
John Madden's the football guy.
Yeah. Joe Madden, the manager for the Cubs,
Okay.
was released.
Oh.
This is a World Series winning manager.
Oh.
And he's up there when it comes to managers. I like the guy.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's the reason we ditched Osmus.
Okay.
Because the opportunity is there to maybe get Joe Madden.
So you think the Angels are going to make a play for him then?
Yeah, I think so, and I hope we get him. This guy is cool. I like him as a manager, and I think he can bring our team up out of this misery that we've been suffering through.
Yeah, that'd definitely be good, because it's like when we have so many players and so much talent on offense, our defense, when it comes to just trying to close games or have pitchers seal the deal for us, it's never there. We're giving away games just left and right. We're handing out home runs like it's trick or treat. Just hey, you want some candy? Bam, there you go.
Yeah, we need improved GM. That whole situation. We need somebody who's going to be better at picking better players, better pitchers specifically. Like, for crying out loud, make a deal for a pitcher every now and then.
Yeah, do something, man.
We don't need more outfielders. We got that covered. Stop it. We don't need catchers.
Yeah,
we need pitchers.
Yeah, Sarah, how do you feel about it?
I agree.
Yeah. Yes, this
You guys
is
are so right.
This is gonna be lovely. But that being said, so that's like as far as the small change or small pennies for the Angels going on right now, because we clearly did not make playoffs by any means.
Yeah.
But that being said, playoffs have started, and you have on the American League side, you got the Twins going up against the Yankees and Houston versus Tampa. Luke, out of those matchups, who are you looking forward to? Who do you think is going to make it to the AL Conference Championship?
I'm hoping and I'm guessing that the Yankees and Astros are going to move on.
Okay.
The Astros are almost a shoo-in. I mean,
for the World Series or just the championship?
Yeah, for the World Series, I think.
Okay.
They have Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole. These are two pitchers.
Correct, yeah.
Both of these guys should win the Cy Young Award.
Oh, my goodness.
They're just that good. Both of them had like 300 strikeouts this season.
Oh, my gosh.
Verlander just crossed, I think, he hit some landmark. Maybe it was 3,000 strikeouts in his career.
Sheesh.
I can't remember. But yeah, these guys both should win the Cy Young Award. Unfortunately, only one of them can. I think it's going to be Garrett Cole.
Do you think it'll come down to a rock, paper, scissors competition?
No. Garrett Cole finished the season with I think it was 7 games in a row with double-digit strikeouts, which is great.
Yeah.
These guys win every single time. And honestly, I would never bet against them. If they can each get 2 starts, they should win 4 games every time, and that's enough to win the World Series.
Yep.
So I would put everything on the Astros right now. The Yankees are also solid. I believe they might have been the first ones to hit the 100 home run mark. 100 win mark. I can't remember. I could be wrong on that. But the Yankees are a powerhouse. They've got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, the catcher's name. What's his name?
Catchy McGee.
I had him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, Bob. There we go.
Bob the catcher.
I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now.
Catch it?
No, we can't. Catcher for the
Gary
Yankees?
Sanchez. Gary Sanchez is his name.
Isn't that the guy who made Napoleon Dynamite?
No.
I thought it was a Sanchez production movie.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's Nacho Libre.
Anyway, I honestly thought. All right. So we got Gary Sanchez.
So
catching.
they are a powerhouse. Where the Astros are a really well-rounded team, the Yankees just crush. They crush so many homers. Of course, the Twins are no slouch either, though. I think they had the most home runs this season of any team.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of bet the Yankees are going to make it past.
I do believe they have a 2-0 lead right now in the series for that those
Yeah,
two franchises. Yeah.
So I think the Yankees are just a little bit better. Going to the National League side, why don't you read those names off?
Yeah, so for the National League of Major League Baseball, we have Washington versus the Dodgers and St. Louis versus Atlanta.
Yeah, so this is where it gets trickier. The Nationals are a little similar to the Astros they've got Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg.
Right.
Both of these guys are looking sharp already in the postseason. So it's hard to bet against those guys, but the Dodgers have Walker Buehler on the mound as well. Kershaw is kind of useless in the postseason.
Dang.
But then Ryu, I think, had the lowest ERA this season of anybody.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good matchup there. I don't know. I think the Dodgers are going to continue again. And then as far as the Cardinals and
you have St. Louis versus the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, Cardinals and Braves. I think the Braves. I don't know. The Cardinals, again, I'm talking about pitching a lot because it's important.
Yeah, that's where it starts, yeah.
Jake Flaherty. Flaherty?
Flaher.
It's hard to pronounce. But anyway.
I'll take your word for it.
Baseball fans know who I'm talking about. This guy is good. This guy, never gives up a run. It's crazy. He had the lowest whip of this season. It was under 1. That's walks and hits over innings pitched. So add the walks and the hits divided by innings pitched.
Okay. He's
under 1. So that means most innings, he's not giving up a walk or a hit.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty great. So it's hard to say who I would choose there. I think I'm going to go with the Braves. And then the Dodgers continue the World Series. I think it's going to be Astros
a rematch.
and Dodgers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully, we do like to root local, so hopefully the Dodgers don't end up dropping this one like they did the last time they met.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see what happens, and should be a good playoff matchups as Luke has been describing. You have different talents, different aspects of the game playing against each other. So just keep an eye out. And,
who are you rooting for, Sarah?
Oh, the Dodgers for sure.
Me too. Yeah. They're also a well-rounded team. Cody Bellinger is just a powerhouse on his own.
Oh yeah,
and they got other guys around him to help him out. So
yep, great matchups, and I believe that series between them and Washington is tied at 1-1, and the game is currently going on right now, or did it already end? Do you know?
I'm not entirely sure.
I want to say last I checked, I want to say Washington had the lead by a couple runs or maybe one.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see what happens next week and get back to you.
In this house, when we're not Angels fans, we're Dodgers fans.
That's going to sound like bandwagon, but hey, we just like I said, we
it's
like
LA. It's not bandwagon if you live here.
Yeah, we like
It's
rooting.
number 1 and number 2.
We root local. All right, that's what it comes down
local,
to.
so we're not super into the whole Angels versus Dodgers thing. I mean, it's fun to get in those little conversations with your friends, but if I'm not rooting for the Angels, I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
Yep. All right, and transitioning now from Major League Baseball to the NFL. One of my passions. So we're going to do a quick summary of last week. Luke, we talked about it with the Redskins and what they should do, either potentially talking about getting rid of Jay Gruden as their head coach or starting a new quarterback, and they decided to go the quarterback route and put in Dwayne Haskins.
Didn't work.
Oh, no, it did not, and I am right.
Of course, nothing works against the Patriots, in all fairness.
That was this week. I'm talking about last week.
Oh,
Last week when they played the Giants, Dwayne Haskins had just over 100 yards and 3 picks.
Yeah.
He did terrible, and I said this to you last week, Luke.
No, hold on. He only played the second half, right?
No, they started him.
I must be a week behind right now.
Dude, that was the blowout. I believe it was 3-24. Daniel Jones destroyed the Redskins, and they
both played that game.
Yeah, Dwayne. That's what I'm saying.
Haskins and
Daniel
Keenum.
Jones is for the Giants.
Haskins and Keenum both played that game.
No, I even looked up the stats, dude. I'm telling you, he did
No
not
way.
play. Yeah, he did not play last week. They decided to name Dwayne Haskins the starter of last week's game, and it was an embarrassing loss because I was telling you this.
Behind.
Case Keenum, I mean, he had one bad performance against the Bears, but he was doing well enough to stay the starter, and Jay Gruden was like, no, we're going to make a change. Because, look, I'm even looking at the stats right now. Whoops, don't need that playing.
The fans are here.
Yeah. Maybe Keenum did play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but look, 37 yards, and he had a pick. But then, again, Dwayne Haskins didn't do any better because he just tripled his numbers of 100 yards and 3 interceptions, which they should not have. Again, they should have left Keenum in there and let him finish the game out, and then maybe next week start him. And then this week, like you just mentioned, talking about losing to the Patriots, they decided to name Colt McCoy the starter, and he didn't do any better.
They're hopeless, man.
God, yeah.
But like I said, against the Patriots, nobody's looked good against the Patriots. Even the Bills, they made it close, but they didn't look good.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. So there was that bad call of putting Dwayne Haskins in. And the Browns, I think, listen to this podcast because they gave us something to root for in destroying Baltimore 40-24 last week.
Yeah, like what the heck?
That
Who
came
would've
out
guessed
that came out of nowhere, dude. And because of that interdivisional loss, they took the lead in their division now. They are sitting atop as the kings of the AFC North right now.
Yeah, and they have the Monday night game, right?
Yeah, they play tomorrow night.
Which
this
is
is the 49ers. That's who it is.
So by the time you guys listen to this, they just played. Mm-hmm. So how did it go?
Oh man, hopefully the Browns pull out another win. I'm not saying that they will, but it'll be interesting and make things a lot more like I said, more interesting in that division.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy, dude. Like, how do you go from like sitting there like people are ready to give up on you? And I love the way Baker Mayfield addressed the media afterward. He's like, I hope everybody has the same feeling next week because they all threw us in the trash can. So I hope you remember that. And like just completely throwing it back in their face. Like, y'all already wrote this season off as a loss. And no, we're going to stick it to you because of that.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield, maybe he'll end up being a pretty bipolar player. I don't think he's ever going to be garbage. Just because he's so good at being satisfied in what he's doing. He's never going to just fall off the deep end and lose it.
And even like the last week's game, like I think he had one interception, but it was a tip pass. And for me, I think there is a record or some kind of recording that talks about tip passes versus just thrown picks straight to the defender and how like that will play into account. And so I don't really count that against him, but he threw well over, I think it was 360 yards. And then he had one touchdown, so he did great. And then again with the tip pass for the interception, but they still pulled off a huge win. Nick Chubb went off. I think had 3 touchdowns that game and over 100 yards. It was just insane. But yeah, so it's crazy to see that going on. Some of the other things I wanted to highlight were injuries around the league. Because once again, the football gods, whatever you want to call them, are not being nice to quarterbacks. They're just, again, they are still, here we are, week 5, and they're still going out, man. Last week with the Bears versus the Vikings, Mitch Trubisky went out with a shoulder injury. I believe it was like the first drive of the game. And I was watching it with my dad at his house, and he was saying like, oh, that's good, they're going to put in the backup. And I was like, I'm not so sure that it is because Trubisky doesn't play all that well. And sure enough, Chase Daniels came into the game and he did enough to get the job done for the Bears that week. And they were the Vikings, I don't really think got much of anything going on either side of the ball.
Speaking of bipolar, the Bears are bipolar.
Yeah, bear polar.
You never know what to expect from them. Their defense is awesome. And then it's like, are they going to get shut out or are they going to win, you know?
Yeah, it's so crazy because I know today they played in London and they played against the Raiders. And it was just crazy about that is you sit there and at halftime, the Raiders were up 17 to 0 at half. And then the Bears start to make a comeback. They're getting fumbles, they're getting turnovers and everything. And you're like, okay, cool. You know, they're about to get the win. Nope, they still choked in the end. You know, it was 21-24, I think was the final score. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with the Bears today. Khalil Mack was just getting outmanned. Like I want to say they probably put him in double coverage and or not double coverage because he's not a receiver, but they double manned him on the line and made sure he wasn't getting to the quarterback, and that gave Derek Carr plenty of time. Let alone their rookie running back. I can't remember his name right now, but he was going off too. I think he had well over 100 yards, and I think he even had a couple of touchdowns against the Bears. And they were showing stats saying that the Bears defense hasn't even allowed that many touchdowns in the first previous games as far as rushing goes.
Yeah,
like that's how good they were. And it was just so crazy to see that the Bears defense, which should be like, you know, top 5 pretty much after last season, especially I don't know if it's crumbling or like you said, it's just super inconsistent. And it's just like, I don't know where to feel with the Bears in that. So it's just crazy to see. But yeah, that being said, getting back to injuries, outside of just the Bears giving us a poor performance.
Yeah.
So we talked about Trubisky and Chase Daniels coming in, but we also have the Broncos pass rusher Bradley Chubb. He went out with a torn ACL. The Patriots lost their kicker Gostowski. He's going out all season with.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's having a hip surgery, so he's going to be done. I forget who they signed. I think
he, in my opinion, was the best kicker in the NFL.
Yeah, at least one of the most solid because again, everyone else was just not up to snuff, and they still aren't. I'm still seeing people miss field goals that are only like 40 yards, 35 yards, and they're hooking it left, right.
There's a handful of old-fashioned kickers that never lost their stuff. That's Gostkowski.
Vinatieri. Would you? or well,
Vinatieri's losing it
no,
now.
he's starting to lose it. Yeah,
but that's because of age. We'll keep him in the conversation. Justin Tucker.
right. Yeah, with the Baltimore.
So yeah, I still think he was about the best kicker in the NFL, just because he never got shaky. While everybody else was getting nervous and failing, he just kept doing his thing.
Right.
It was as consistent as could be.
Yeah, so he was up there definitely for kickers go as far as kickers go. And then this week, the Steelers' backup quarterback Mason Rudolph went out with an injury because he's now in concussion protocol because there was a helmet-to-helmet hit on him in the Ravens Steelers game this morning, and he's gone. So he's probably going to be out for at least a week, I would think. And
Maybe so, yeah.
you know that might be good news for the Chargers because we play them next week, and I think it's a Sunday night game as well.
Yeah.
But one last thing I wanted to cover is it's not necessarily injury related, but we were talking about the Raiders. Their linebacker Vontez Burfict is gone for the season because finally the NFL has decided this dude's a scumbag and he keeps going for dirty hits on players, leading with the helmet, and they want to punish him. If you haven't already heard or you don't already know, this dude has been fined over $4 million.
Wow.
Because of his past years in the NFL, and they clearly see him making helmet-to-helmet hit one after another, game after game, and he hasn't learned his lesson. So they finally said, you know what, screw you, dude. And you know, I've heard like I know Skip and Shannon talked about it. Like it's long overdue for this guy to be gone from the league. They need to just cut him and just stop letting him play on the field because he doesn't care. It's like what's $4 million to a guy who's making 20 plus a year? It's just like it's chump change to him. But unless you just cut him off completely, he's not going to stop his thing. And people want to say, oh, just let them play football. It's going to be two-hand touch after a while. It's like, no, you can make good hits on people without having to try to put them in a freaking coma. Like people are getting hospitalized due to certain hits if it hits them just the right way and snaps their neck or something. Like that's not what people want to see. There were two people who went down in the Packers-Eagles game a couple Thursdays ago, and nobody likes seeing that. Guys have to get carted off on a stretcher because they can't move. Like that's frightening. That's horrifying to somebody whose career rests on them being able to play a game. Nobody wants to see them go out and just go limp on the field. This guy is a scumbag, and he needs to leave the NFL.
I'm not quite with you on this one.
I don't care. I am with me on this one.
I think, yes, he should be out of the league. But for the hit that they ejected him on, it wasn't that bad of a hit. The one they chose to exercise this authority, I think it was the wrong one. The hit I saw wasn't enough for me to justify kicking someone out for the entire season.
Well, I believe there were two in that game against the Colts, though. It wasn't just one. Like, I mean, there was the one that ejected him, but
maybe one of the other ones would have been a better call. This one in particular was not that bad, and I think maybe you could have suspended him for a game or two, but this one in particular was just not enough for me to justify throwing him out for the season.
But years of this stuff happening.
I get that, and once it happens again, then that's the last straw. I don't think this was the last straw, though.
This dude's already honestly, this dude's been given way too many chances as is. I mean, we saw what he did to the Steelers and knocked out Antonio Brown in a not a playoff round, but a wild card. It was a wild card game, Steelers versus the Bengals, and the dude doesn't care.
Not Brown though.
No, it was when he just friggin' wrecked him. Maybe it was a regular season game, but it was when Antonio Brown was going up for a pass. The pass had already gone over Antonio Brown's head, and then he came in just wham and nailed him. And then what was funny is, I think there was maybe a flag and a penalty thrown for that one, and he's just walking around like, what happened? I don't know what I did. Like just acting like there was nothing wrong when the guy just went limp completely. And then what was great, what I like to see is Juju Smith-Schuster got him back on the next play and friggin' knocked him on his butt. And what was funny about it too, it's like the hit Juju put on him knocked him on his back, but it was a clean hit because again he lowered his shoulder for a block, and then the only thing that got it flagged as a penalty was the fact that Juju stood over him like, you don't like a taste of your own medicine, and so it was just unsportsmanlike conduct at that point, not unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, so I'm with you on getting rid of bad players. Mm-hmm. He's a bad player. This was not the one to do it on though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I saw the hit and just. It was not all that offensive to me.
Yeah, but see, it's what's going to be offensive is when he's in our division now. He starts playing the Chargers, and what happens when he goes up to Keenan Allen like that and friggin' helmets to helmet right in the face mask, right in the chin or something, and then it's just like, there we go, Keenan Allen's like out for the season.
That's where I'll stand. They should have done it earlier.
Yeah. But yeah, I just mentioned the Raiders in our division and Keenan Allen with the Chargers. Give up. Give up, Chargers fans. They suck. They always have, and they always will.
If you can't beat the Broncos, your season is over.
How do you, and I freaking talked about this, man. What is it with us giving these defeated teams their first win of the season? I know we got by Miami, and I was like, okay, maybe there is a little promise here because we did, beat them handily enough, 30-10. Like, that's a good enough score for me to walk away and be like, okay, you know what? It was a bad team. We should have a high scoring game like that. And then the freaking Broncos come to LA and we let them walk all over us and end the game
without Bradley Chubb.
Well, yeah, exactly. I saw the injury report come up this week earlier that Bradley Chubb was out. I'm like, oh, good. That means we only have to worry about Von Miller getting to the quarterback, and they did their part for the most part handling him. And we still couldn't get anything done on offense. Yeah. It's like the Broncos, and I think somebody posted about it, like, they proved themselves to not be a good rush defense team. And so the Chargers just like, all right, we're just going to keep passing 48 times. And then they couldn't get anything done, man. How do we get so close to the end zone? And then Rivers was throwing, I think, 1 or 2 picks. He was playing. Picks. He was playing daddily. It's just like, what the frick, man? These are teams we're supposed to beat, and our schedule only gets worse.
Yeah, Rivers, 32 completed passes and 211 yards. That is way less than 10 yards per pass.
Yeah.
You gotta, come on now. Be bold. Quit trying these baby passes, and like you said, there was enough protection there, right?
Yeah, from what I was seeing.
If there's enough protection there, then take a chance down the field.
Yeah.
If every pass you're doing is 6 yards, that's just simply not enough.
No, and it's not
even 6 yards. Multiply 32 by
is it multiply or divide?
Okay, so it's like 7 yards per pass.
Right.
So that's just not enough. You got to get more than that.
No, and you know what? I've been saying this for years, man, and nobody wants to freaking take me up on it because Rivers will have bounce back years or bounce back seasons or whatever, where he puts up decent enough numbers to like, no, we can still keep him as a starter. No, we should have been drafting a freaking quarterback years ago.
We need to be preparing for sure.
Yeah, and it's already starting to show because Rivers is a guy, once he gets behind in a game, he's not going to try to fight us back to get a win. Here we were, 17-7, and it's just like struggle. And then, the Broncos, all they did was kick another field goal after that. We couldn't even put up 21 points to get a win. Like, the Chargers don't know what the frick they're doing. They can't be unified. And I saw some of the worst tackling in this game, man. There's some of the few highlights because we did go to see Joker during this time, but I was seeing just pitiful performances by the defense. They want to come out, they're like, oh, we're the Jack boys, we get turnovers, we do this. No, you guys are getting jacked up by every team you play. Stop posing for the camera and start getting turnovers because that's what you need to do to win games. If you want to actually be effective on defense, you need to start making tackles, and then that way later on in the game, when someone's desperate at 3rd and 10 or whatever, 3rd and long, then you get opportunities to get fumbles, to get interceptions, to get pick sixes, whatever you want. But until then, stop taking photos and start focusing on the dang game. I'm tired of it, man.
Yeah, for anybody, like Dylan's exactly right here. For anybody who watched the game, the second Broncos touchdown is a perfect example.
2 guys.
Wide open receiver, first was the first
Yeah, that
problem.
was already the bad thing.
Wide open, and then 2 missed tackles to let him walk in for like, what, a 50-yard touchdown?
Yeah, easily. It's just like... just wrap the guy. Like, everyone, like, I don't know what it is. It's like you guys just want to like play safe and like, oh, we're gonna keep him standing up so we can cause a fumble and, like I said, get turnovers. Like, no, hold off on getting turnovers until again the team has to go into desperation mode to catch up to you guys. Get the lead and keep it. Don't stop scoring. Why is that so hard to comprehend? Like, again, Brady with Bill Belichick, Sean Payton and Drew Brees, or whatever quarterback they're using. I know right now it's Teddy Bridgewater. They never let their foot off the gas pedal. Just keep scoring. Keep doing something. They are getting nothing together. They're getting nothing done on defense. They're getting nothing done on offense. We had such high expectations, and like I said, I knew we weren't going to win the division because we have to go up against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But my God, they are doing nothing to give fans hope right now. We're aiming for a first pick if we continue on this path right now. The Broncos and everyone else who's defeated right now are going to go on and get more wins than the Chargers will this season. That's the kind of thing I'm expecting right now from them because they have not delivered Sunday after Sunday after Sunday.
Yeah, one thing is for sure. If you can't beat the Broncos at this point, the talks of Super Bowl are out of the question.
Like, so, I don't see us making playoffs. The Raiders will take a wild card spot before we do. Like, that's how bad we played. I mean, the Raiders were able to beat the Bears. There's no way we're beating them. I guarantee you. We'll choke in that game. We'll choke against the Titans. We have to play the Packers. They come here and they just destroyed Dallas in Dallas. So it's just like, what the heck? What hope do we have?
Yeah, so it's going to be a long season for us Charger fans.
Yeah, be ready to bite some bullets because it's not looking pretty. Ugh. But that's what the Chargers make me feel. Just every Sunday, I have such high hopes and they just make me feel disgusted afterward.
Yeah.
But on another note, still related to NFL, sadly, the owner of the Cardinals, Bill Bidwell, has passed away at the age of 88. And what was at least nice to see from the Chargers is that both organizations had a close connection with each other. And I'm pretty sure like the Cardinals and even I think the Cowboys are like two of the teams that Spanos, like we'd have like scrimmage games with even before preseason started, just because the organizations and the clubs were that close to each other. So they sent out a nice letter just in regards to Bill and just how he was as a manager, as an owner, and just how loving and like happy and jokey he was like with people around the league. So again, just my condolences to the family, to everyone involved in that organization. It is a tragic passing, even if it was just old age or whatever it may have been. Sad to see owners just to pass along like that. So, like I said, condolences to the Arizona organization.
Yeah, sad day.
Yeah. And let's see, we'll try to, do some more uplifting things after talking about the choking Chargers and the passing of Bill Bidwell. And we want to invite Sarah here once again.
I'm still here.
Hey.
Yes. as you guys can tell, she's not necessarily the biggest sports fanatic, so she doesn't have
She's
as much to
been
put
taking
in.
notes this whole time.
I just want to say, I think Bipolar Bears would be a great band name.
Bipolar Bear.
So she just coined that here. All right, so we had a fun game we wanted to play with her since she.
Wait, that's the phrase of the week. Bipolar Bears.
Bipolar Bears.
Bipolar Bears.
Yeah.
Okay.
We missed the phrase last week.
I thought we did. I
Yeah.
listened to the episode. I'm like, I don't think we did it again. I even called it out. Like
So for one peanut M&M, Bipolar Bears.
Bipolar Bears. All right. So all that winding down once again. We wanted to play a game with Sarah. She's married to me. We've known each other since 2009,
10 years.
and since then, I've obviously, as you guys can tell on this podcast, I know a lot about sports. And so does my co-host Luke here.
I do okay.
We talk about sports a lot, and
They've
so we
bonded
know
through me.
We know players, we know positions, we know penalties, and we just wanted to quiz Sarah on maybe a handful of these terms to see if after a decade of knowing me, something has stuck.
I'm
Quiz me
ready. I
too.
got my war paint blinder.
Oh, I don't know about a quiz you. I want
I'm
you
doing
to.
bad already. I don't know what this is called.
Quiz me too to see if like
But see, I want her to get. I want us
I'm
to.
not gonna guess before she does.
But I want us to give her things to guess on.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like,
so you're
if-
relying on me.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we're
okay,
both doing
okay.
this. Okay, so let's start.
Are we talking
easy.
football or sports?
Let's go football. I mean, I'd like to think that
Okay.
I'm more inclined to football, as you guys know. But let's see how that goes. And maybe as the weeks go on, if she comes on regularly again, we can branch out to other sports.
All right.
So
I know absolutely nothing about like tennis.
great start.
What is love?
All right. So
Do you know?
No.
We're gonna
You
start
don't
off
know?
with positions before we get into penalties. We'll start off with positions.
All right.
That should be fairly easy. I want you to tell me what the letters of this position stand for and what that position does.
Okay.
RB, and this is football.
RB.
Yes.
That is a running back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the running back stands behind the quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't really know what he does beyond that. He probably runs.
We'll give it to her. Yeah.
We'll give it to her. Ding, ding, ding. All
He
right.
takes the ball and he runs. Yeah.
All right. What is a wide out?
Wide out, like wide, not white.
Not white.
Wide.
Okay.
Wide out.
Wide out. It's a position. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's not. This one's not an initial. I should have prefaced this, but it is a position.
Okay,
A
I'm
wide
guessing
out.
they're one of the people that stands kind of on the side, on like the far sides, like sort of like further away from the quarterback.
And what do they
All
do?
right.
I imagine they block other people from interfering with the play, or
So your guess is they stand far away from the quarterback and they block people.
yeah,
How far away are you imagining?
like maybe towards like the end zone, not the end zone.
The sidelines?
Yeah, the sidelines.
You got
we'll
the
give you a half point.
positioning right.
Yes.
Okay.
So a wide out is another term for a wide receiver, and what they usually do is they go downfield Not to block people. I mean, they do that on occasion, but they go downfield to then catch a pass.
TV, so wide receiver, I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
It'd be tricky.
Yeah, I can't give you all easy answers here, or all easy questions. Let's see, Luke, do you have another position or something you would like to go
Yeah,
over?
should I give the letter again?
Yeah, if you want.
S.
Oh boy, this one's getting tougher.
Starter's not a thing, is it?
It's a thing, but it's
It
not
is
a
a
No,
thing.
it's not the
thing.
thing I'm
That's
looking for
not. That's
here.
not this thing.
S.
What is the S position on a football field?
I have no idea.
Somebody pulls your finger and there's a toot, and you say,
Excuse me.
"Excuse me."
Do you want to enlighten her on this one?
It's actually safety.
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 Okay.
And the safety is there. Sort of the origin of the names. They stand the farthest back most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They roam around the last line of defense to hit down whoever's coming through.
Yeah, so
everybody else.
the deeper perimeters, if what we just talked about, a wideout or a wide receiver, if they're down there, they want to make sure they're the last defense, as Luke said, to stop them from getting into the end zone. All right, let's see. Do you have another one for her to guess? And we can still stick with positions for this.
Yeah.
for now.
Let's go with. I don't want to make it too hard. It's just. Let's go with LB.
Linebacker.
Hey,
okay.
That was the position you played when you played high school football.
Okay, and what position was that? What did I do?
You were in the back of the line. No, I'll give more thought.
Okay. And
I think you are in charge of making sure that people don't catch the ball. Like that's a defensive position, isn't it? Like you're
It is defense. You're right. They are backing the line.
yeah, but like the initial defense line. So it's like that row of people that are like boom, like smash into each other, and then they're like behind those people.
Yes.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
pretty good answer.
The purpose was a little bit off. The linebacker, yes, they do want to stop people from catching passes. They're almost like a safety, but
Not as deep.
all the way back.
Yeah.
So they're there to swat down whatever's coming their way. If anybody breaks through the line, they're the ones that are supposed to stop them.
Yeah.
They're the semi safeties.
Yeah, so
the
that's-
SSs.
That was pretty good, Sarah. You're doing not so bad.
All right. I think we've gone over enough positions. Let's transition to penalties.
All right.
All right. If there is a holding penalty on the offense, what is the consequence?
That's a consequence. I thought the consequence could kind of like vary depending on the severity of the offense.
Well, this is why I specified on the offense. There are several holding penalties
Okay.
that you can get against you, but depending on if you're playing defense or offense, it determines what the consequence of that penalty is. So for the
So
offense,
offensive holding will always be the same penalty.
Okay.
yes.
I feel like I have to like Slumdog Millionaire into like one of the times I've sat and watched you watch football.
Okay. So
I'm imagining myself as like the referee that's like standing in front of the field and
okay,
making those hand signals.
we'll get you a striped outfit.
Yeah, perfect. I could double as Beetlejuice.
There you go.
So back to football.
She's stalling.
She is stalling. I knew it too.
Okay, so offensive holding, it's a 10-yard penalty.
Yes.
Hey,
was
nice.
pretty good,
You
yeah.
got that one.
Yeah.
All right. And let's flip it. So what would defensive holding get you? What would be the consequence for defensive holding?
I don't know. What can you do to the defense? Apparently,
That question wasn't reassuring.
Well, what can you do after?
I don't know. Do you move them up 10 yards?
Who's them? You gotta be
The
specific.
offense,
Okay.
or
So you.
Okay,
what's
you
your final?
chose-
What's your final guess? So you said they move them up, but what do you want to? What do you want to get? What do you want to guess here?
I guess you wouldn't call it like a 5-yard penalty, but like you move them up 5 yards.
Bingo. It is a
that's
5-yard
actually-
penalty.
Yeah, it's a 5-yard penalty and a
Yeah.
first down.
The offense goes up 5. So it's either where it's where you're moving the ball
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
against
My
the defense.
subconscious pays really good attention, I guess.
That was
Okay.
pretty good. Yeah.
What is a PI penalty?
PI. Mm-hmm. Can I have the origin?
There was a PI penalty on the play.
You want the origin?
Yeah.
What would the origin be in this case?
Math pi.
Like who was the first person to get called on this? Or
Does
like,
it have like South African derivations or
No,
Nope.
and it's
Okay.
not a disease either.
Okay.
A PI.
Disease.
I don't know.
PI
Could be a
penalty.
disease. I just caught a PI.
Pass interference.
Ooh,
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
And where
Word
does,
games. I
where
like
does
this.
where does the ball? Ooh, how many
Yeah.
yards for the
We'll just say
penalty?
what is the penalty?
For pass interference?
Yes.
Committed. That I guess that would have to be committed by the defense, huh?
Not always. But for
We'll go with defensive.
We'll go defensive pass interference, but there is offensive pass interference just for the record.
So what is the penalty for defensive pass interference?
Is it that they move forward 5 yards?
Close. It could be
Close.
5 yards
I mean,
theoretically.
okay,
This penalty is interesting because it is placed at the spot of the foul.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's
So if they're at the 1 yard line and they go for a Hail Mary pass all the way down the field and the pass interference happens at the 1 yard line on the other side of the field,
the penalty gets them all the way down
So basically,
there.
it said it just gets treated as a catch.
almost, yeah, as if
kind of not really, but I mean, yeah, I get
How
where
is
you're.
it not treated as a catch?
'Cause it's not a catch.
wherever the foul happens, so there's no catch.
Yeah.
It can,
Yeah, but like it's basically like, well, we'll just assume that the pass interference didn't happen and you caught it.
and you got tackled immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
Kinda
where she's
like that.
coming from,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you got a couple more for her, Luke.
We'll go with offensive pass interference now.
Okay, so an offensive pass interference, would that be like you keep your own player from catching it?
No.
No.
Because like that's the offensive are the people throwing the ball around, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You're doing well.
She's putting it together.
You've got a good understanding of the basics of football.
She will. She.
After 10 years of like
10 years,
soaking
she's-
it up through osmosis from Dylan. I'm just a raisin sitting in water here.
There she is stalling again.
So yeah, offensive pass interference. And it's not when they prevent their own team from catching the ball. What would it be?
Would it just be that like the round resets and you do it over?
The round resets and you
Like
do it
the
over.
down.
No. The
the
down,
down?
The down does not reset. Or well.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think.
So
Boy, darn it, Sarah, you stumped us now.
I know.
I think it resets.
yeah. So
I think if you take that penalty,
yeah. So okay.
replay the down.
What offensive pass interference is? It's not the offense interfering with themselves because that would just be a blunder by the offense that wouldn't really
Right.
count for anything. It would,
That's where
you
I
know,
was confused.
If it was second down, it'd be third down at that point. No, what offensive pass interference is when an offensive player interferes with what could have been an interception. So say if the ball was thrown poorly and it was going to go to a defensive player, it comes into effect because if one of the offensive wide receivers, running back, or whoever was going to catch the ball is holding the defensive player's arms down or interfering with him making a play on the ball, that is then pass interference.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Offensive specifically.
Okay. So what was the answer that you were expecting?
I mean that like you weren't even sure if it was offensive running into each other or anything
like they don't prevent their own team from catching the ball.
They prevent the
other
defense.
team.
I thought I was supposed to be answering what the penalty was.
And the penalty is a 10-yard penalty. Oh man.
You asked. Oh my god, I believe it is, but let's just do a quick Google search.
Why did I ask this one? I
don't
don't
know.
even know.
Okay, here I'll give you to end this category while I look up this last answer for Luke's thing. What is, and this will be again, like I said, last one. I'm just repeating myself. What is a safety? Not the position, but what is a safety for a scoring play? What does that entail?
Okay, so like in a sentence, you would say a player threw a safety.
No, let me use it in a sentence. It's hard to use it in a sentence without giving away what it is.
It's like I said, it's a scoring play. It gets you points.
Okay.
What I want to know is how many points does it get you, and how do you get those points?
Okay, well I know that there's the field goal, which gets you 3.
Okay,
Nice.
I know a touchdown gets you 6.
Good.
good. You didn't say 7. Most people say 7.
A 2-point conversion has to get you 2.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Something. Does anything besides like your little kick after the touchdown get you 1?
Yeah, that's the extra point kick. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah,
But
that's the only thing that gets you one.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, okay.
safety is something else other than those things you just listed.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen like a denomination of that. point value you could put on the board. Does it get you 3 again? Is that what this is?
No.
Okay, so you're wrong on
Ooh.
that. Do you want to take a shot at still how you get the points at least?
I am completely lost on this one.
So this
Okay.
is a fun one. This gets you 2 points, and it's when the defense tackles the offense in their own end zone.
Okay.
It's like the opposite of a touchdown.
Okay. It's a touch up.
Yeah. It's like a safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a safety's like a safety. That's
Yeah,
really clarifying.
Yeah. Did you find it yet, Dylan?
I'm looking and it just keeps giving me like the general definition of like when a player interferes with a catch or a play that could have been made on the ball kind of thing. It's not giving me the actual penalty for it. It's just giving me general definition.
That's lame.
Yeah,
I,
it really
Sarah
is.
Gio, have exposed a hole in the rules of football in 10 seconds
Okay,
on
sure
a
you did.
podcast.
This is outrageous. Wikipedia needs to be updated.
It really does.
Those of you who have your Wikipedia accounts, go on there and tell us what the penalty for offensive pass interference is. I think it's 10 yards.
I've
I wanna say
single-handedly
10,
ripped a
but-
hole in the entire NFL.
Nope. That's exactly
Can
what we
you
did not do.
single-handedly rip a hole? I don't know.
Just with one hand, I just ripped it open.
Nope.
Impossible.
All right. So that was a little fun game. Hope that brightened everyone's spirits after.
I did better than I thought I would.
I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
Decent enough. I
Yeah.
think you probably got at least half, if not a little more.
Some
Yeah,
of it
so
was
after-
guesswork, but apparently my intuition's all right.
After 50 years of marriage, you're going to be like a referee.
Yeah.
No. Maybe. All right. So last but not least, before we close out the podcast, we're going to go into our Week 6 predictions for the NFL. And again, a few highlighted games I want to go through. Eagles versus Vikings. I think the way that both teams are playing, I think that the Eagles should go into Minnesota and pull out with a win. The Vikings on offense are just not getting it done at all, man. I mean, there's already frustration from Thielen and him with Kirk Cousins just not throwing the ball to him, just not getting things done. And there's still a frustration there. I know they pulled off a win today, but I think the Eagles are still better off on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the Vikings, I think, are cracking. And the Eagles have been a little bit better than I thought they would be.
Yeah, they started out rough, but I mean, even some of those losses were close, and there were like bad injuries and stuff on their team.
Still,
So
I think it's going to be close. I'm going to guess it's going to be within like the 20 to 30 point range. Both
Right.
of them are going to be in that range.
okay.
So I'm guessing one of them is going to be in the high 20s, the other low to mid 20s.
Okay, but you do.
I think it's going to be the Eagles.
Okay. Next game, Texans versus Chiefs. What's crazy about this one is I think with the Texans, they just not even got into a shootout. They destroyed the Falcons, which I knew was going to happen because the Falcons.
Yeah,
just
what was it,
not
like
good.
46 to 33 or
I
something
think it was
like
like
that?
50. It was
Really?
50 something. Yeah. They crushed them, and there's going to be a shootout next week against the Chiefs. And if I'm looking at this correctly, it looks like the Chiefs are about to take their first L of the season to the Colts. Which, that's shocking to all of us here.
Yeah.
I thought the Chiefs would go undefeated, same as the Patriots in the AFC, but no, it's not looking like it. There's
The
only
Chiefs are not quite looking like the powerhouse that they were last season.
right.
They're still pretty good, but I still think they're going to beat the Texans. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's
Well, here's the thing, though, is like my thing is if they're losing to the Colts, like the Texans' offense is way better than the Chiefs' defense.
but the Texans as a team, I think, are pretty equivalent to the Colts. Mm-hmm. So I think it's still a toss up.
I don't know. I want to not just because they're in our division with the Chargers, because again the Chargers aren't winning nothing. We're taking L's the rest of the season. But I don't expect any wins from us because of how bad we play. But no, I honestly think that if Indy came into Kansas City, and I believe the Chiefs have to go. Or no, the Texans come to them. I don't know, but either way, I think the Texans, Deshaun Watson, like I stated, I think on a previous podcast, he can get into shootouts with Tom Brady. I think he can get into a shootout with Mahomes, and it's just going to come down to whoever has the ball last.
Do you think the Chiefs are going to lose twice in a row?
I think they could.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I can't imagine.
I mean, nobody thought that the Cowboys were going to lose twice in a row after they lost to New Orleans and then took an L today in Jerry World.
But did we think that was impossible?
I didn't think it was impossible.
That was way
but
more
even
believable
still,
to me.
Even still, though, at least look when I look at the Cowboys, like even despite them taking the L's here, like they look way better off on defense than the Chiefs do. But like for the Chiefs, the Chiefs defense is why Patrick Mahomes is able to get into shootouts with people, because he has to then bring his. Not that they've ever had like a really bad lead against him, but even still, it's just like the dude's able to put up huge numbers because his defense doesn't deliver on their end of the ball. Like they hardly. I mean, they got a pick tonight, but rarely do they ever get turnovers. So it's just the defense gets walked all over, and then Patrick Mahomes comes in and just does the same thing to the other team's defense. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whoever has the ball last, it's going to win this game. That's my bet on it.
I think it's definitely going to be the Chiefs because, again, if they lose right now, there's no way they're going to lose twice in a row. They're too good of a team to do that.
I don't know, man. All right, the next game, Seahawks versus Browns. Is it a Monday night game? Maybe not. But no, you know what? I don't think it is. But yeah, so Seahawks versus Browns. As much as I would like to say the Browns, because it'll be in Cleveland,
I think the Seahawks.
I think the Seahawks.
The Seahawks are looking like legitimate contenders all of a sudden.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is just amazing at quarterback. He's up there in MVP talks right now already, and I know we're only about 5 games into the season, but he's getting the job done for his team because no one else really is. And even
I wouldn't say that. They're looking pretty well rounded. They've got solid receivers on both sides with DK Metcalf and then Tyler Lockett. Both those guys are doing great. And then Chris Carson is excellent at running back. And on the defensive side, you've got Jadeveon Clowney proving that he's not just an accessory to J.J. Watt.
Right.
He's his own player.
Well, again, I'm not saying the team's complete garbage, but I mean, as far as the offensive line goes, like there's a lot of times where Russell Wilson has to scramble to make plays, almost the same way Mahomes does. And
That's true.
Like, did you saw like that pass against the Rams that they played last Thursday, and it was like a 6% completion percentage that it was going to happen for that pass, and it was something that shouldn't even have been completed, but he somehow manages to throw it to his receiver at the back of the end zone, toe drag swag as they call it, and freaking got it to him, and they got a touchdown and took the lead. So that was
who was the receiver there? Do you remember?
I think that one might have been Lockett.
I'm thinking so because Metcalf
had a 40-yard bomb, but that was something different.
Yeah, both those receivers, man.
Yeah, and then
they're both good.
What's crazy too? I mean, side note, the game I don't think should have even been as close as it was because there was when Gurley got I think his first touchdown of the game. The clock had expired to double zeros for like 2 or 3 seconds, and they were still able to hike the ball off without a delay of game penalty. So I'm just like, what the heck? It's like there's a little bit of a blown call there by the refs, but even still, Seattle came out with the win. Should be another good matchup. Oh man, I believe this is the Sunday night game: Steelers versus the Bolts. Let's go Steelers because
I'm going Chargers. I don't know. I'll have fun with it. Oh man, I don't know. I'm hoping Melvin Gordon will feel more settled in.
Who knows?
This time,
I have no expectations for this team at this point.
Things looked bad today. I think it's gonna. They call it in economics, like when you're talking about stocks,
right?
A dead cat bounce. That means that even a dead cat, when dropped from a height, is gonna hit the ground and bounce.
Oh my gosh!
And I think that's what's about to happen to the Chargers. I think they're gonna have just enough of a bounce after their low point to win this game, and then maybe start losing again.
I don't know. You never do know with the Chargers. It's just they want to decide, maybe we'll show up and play a game, but they want to just keep posing for photos and acting like they want to act like they're the team to beat, but then not be that team on the field. Too much Hollywood. Maybe they need to move out of LA because they're starting to get more into the photos as opposed to the actual performance on the field.
But the stadium, the new stadium,
whatever. We're never gonna have a home game anyway, so I'm just already throwing that one out the window.
Yeah.
Next good divisional matchup I think will be 49ers versus Rams. That is coming up too, and that could possibly, depending on what happens next or tomorrow night with the Browns versus 49ers, that could determine who has control of the NFC West. With if the 49ers beat the Rams, because that could, I think, if the 49ers stay undefeated this week, they would go on top of the division as a 5-0, 6-0 team.
Oh yeah, they are still because they had the bye week.
They had a bye week.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So if they beat the Browns tomorrow and then beat the Rams, that would put them on top of the division with no losses.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think I'm going to guess the Rams.
You think so?
I think so.
I know they got into a shootout last year, and I don't even think they had. Did they have Garoppolo?
No, he was injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he was. So they had a backup QB who still gave them a run for their money. It was a shootout nobody expected. So yeah, definitely one to check out. And then last but not least, another divisional matchup: Lions versus Packers. And that one I think will also have implications of who's leading that division. And surprisingly, the Lions have shocked a lot of people. And I mean, they got into a shootout with the Chiefs, barely lost that. They beat the Chargers. I think they're 2-1-1 right now is their record. So I think
they were on a bye week this week, right?
yes. So they were on a bye as well. I think slight edge to the Packers after their dominating performance against the Cowboys.
I think so.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers, it's like people, he's losing his step. I don't think he is.
I think he is. He's not nearly the quarterback he used to be.
Well, he doesn't.
But he's got flashes.
I think what screwed him over a lot was losing Jordy Nelson. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
He's got good receivers. Devontae Adams is a fantastic receiver.
Look, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying Jordy Nelson was like the go-to guy. That's when I was playing fantasy with you guys. They were the tandem to go for because they were always getting like 2 touchdowns apiece to each other.
I think that's more because of Aaron Rodgers than it was because of Jordy Nelson. I think if you put Devontae Adams back in that year, I think Devontae Adams looks like a superstar. And he already does. I mean, even with a not-so-great Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams looks fantastic. You put him back then, I think it would have been awesome.
Yeah, well, either way, I'm still pulling for the Cheeseheads in that one. I don't think the Lions are going to pull out a win.
I think the Packers are going to win. They beat the Cowboys. That's funny. I said it as a joke.
Last week you said the Cowboys were going to walk all over them and just it was going to be an easy win, but...
Yeah, that's very surprising.
Yeah. So
maybe I should make fun of the Packers again? I don't know.
Start making fun of the Raiders and the Chiefs and everyone else.
No. The team I make fun of is... Oh.
Yeah, because you made fun of the Packers.
I made fun of both of them in the process. I don't know.
Either way.
Tough to say. But hopefully the Packers.
You know, and I almost wore my Bears jersey to church today, and sure enough, they lost to the Raiders. So again, my curse struck again. Gosh, man. But anyway, that's all we have for you today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. This is, I think, our longest one yet. Right now we're currently over 2 hours, but there'll be probably some edits here and there. So
It's me.
who knows?
I'm very talkative.
Yeah, Sarah would not shut up, man.
That's what everyone says about me.
I still got to listen to her on the ride home. That's not going to be fun. But anyway, hope you all had a wonderful night, wonderful weekend, and hope to hear from you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Laters. I'm not saying hit it yet.